check it. Check it. What's up? Check it. What's up?
Welcome to PUBG Mobile V 4.0's new mode, Unfail. As a survivor, you have but one goal. Escape! Work with teammates to activate the terminals. To open the exit gates, the survivors win when over half of them escape. The power plant is divided into 4 areas. There are 2 terminals in each area. Activate any 5 terminals to unlock the exit gate. During activation, successfully tap the button on the left to increase the activation progress. Activate a terminal to gain helpful items. But remember, your location will be exposed to the predator when activating terminals. If you see the heartbeat, that means the predator is nearby and it's time to move. At the start of the match, you'll receive a random skill and a stun gun. Each skill has its own unique effect, including increasing movement speed, distracting enemies, speeding up activation, and rescuing teammates. In addition to skills, the map is also filled with interactables and special items. They're your secret weapon for causing chaos and distracting the predator. Attacking the predator with firearms will fill its stun bar. When the stun bar is full or a weak point is destroyed, the predator will be stunned, giving your team time to get away and activate terminals. Survivors collectively have 2 respawn chances. At 6 minutes into a match, or if all respawn chances have been used, respawning will no longer be available. When this happens, an exit portal will appear at a random location, until there is only 1 survivor left. Once 5 terminals are activated, the exit gate will open. Use it to escape. When your team is full, prioritize escaping together through the exit gate to win. Survivors, remember to never stop moving. Victory is in sight.
Chicken killer, 삼계탕 dinner. In this world I know who will rise or fall. I raise my shield to stay alive, but the hurt still rain down from the sky. Now I got a tattered soul, but still I fight. Through jungles race, left foes behind. Yet through misshapes still stalk my mind. My perfect form fears tire marks, but nothing stops my forward sparks. To life, I risk it all. A stupid fate may call. To life, I risk it all. No surprise can block my will. To rise. To life, I'll risk it all.
iSteady V3 Ultra unlocks touch filming. A simple double tap starts AI tracking. With AI live feed, what you film is what you see. Frame yourself on the remote. You can shoot videos all on your own. Pull up the extension pole and get everyone in the shot effortlessly. iSteady V3 Ultra. Your touch, your moment.
Hello everyone and welcome back. It is the final day right here in the Campus Championship. I'm not muted this time. It is going fantastic. And we are going to get into what these teams are bringing out onto the battlefield. My name's DK and joining me, of course, is going to be Neptra. Nep, yesterday, very exciting day. We did see some pretty insane performances come through. We had 3 winner chicken dinners with in excess of 20 eliminations each. Only one of them didn't quite get that 20+ statement, but of course there's going to be 4 more matches for the teams to try and rectify that. I'm really looking forward to this. What do you expect for us to see here, especially seeing that we're going into exactly the same map rotation as what we had yesterday?
I want to say with all my heart that we're gonna get the same amount of action we saw last night, right? Because it was hot drops, it was massive elimination counts, it was the whole shebang. But I feel like now we're at the end, or the second half of the finals, right? We've only got 4 games left. We've got Rondo at the very end. I have a feeling teams are going to be very cautious for the first 3 games, going to try and make sure that they do as well as possible, but also not go out too early, because they want to make sure that that playing field is as even as possible before getting into Rondo.
Well, I mean, that would be an interesting theory to see if it actually proves to be true, because evening out the playing field, who do you take out then, or who do you bump up? Because, I mean, we've been seeing such a tight competition coming through, and I'm not quite sure which way we could be leaning with that. But, of course, we'd love to hear the perspective of our viewers, so you can always hit us up in the chat as well as on social media. Let us know who you are supporting. Give them a shout out, go show us some love, and of course you can do that over on the lovely X or Twitter, whichever one you want to call that. You can hit us up on Instagram as well as right here on YouTube. And always, if you need more information or just want to be involved in everything that is cooking in the NA region, hop on over onto that Discord, and you could also potentially maybe be one of the teams to enter here. But of course, this is the collegiate level, so well, make sure that you're in one of the participating schools, or if your school's not participating, get them to participate.
Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome, especially when we go over to our next slide here, and you can tell your school, hey, there's a prize pool of quite a bit over here. First place is going to get you $6,000 just for winning the whole thing, but not to worry if you fall short of that top spot. There's $4,000 for second place, $3,000 for third, $1,000 for fourth, and $500 for fifth. So as long as one of our teams here this evening, DK, gets into that top 5, they are looking good and in the money.
Oh, yes, and, a decent chunk of change available here for the squads to continue to apply as much pressure as they can for the remainder of the day. But aside from prize pools, of course, there are a few other things that we can talk about, right? We've been bragging about the team stepping up so phenomenally. Let's take a look at those names yet again. So we've got ITSV, one of the first schools from Mexico, who had, of course, the registration extended and allowed, right, for even more teams within the region or more countries to have schools be accessible to this event. So great to see them in here, and they've, of course, been trying their utmost best to bring as much heat as they could out on the battlefield. And then, of course, a few other familiar names that we have in here as well, right? So we know coming into the season, Southeastern Louisiana is, of course, one of those new schools that we are looking at on the battlefield, but we've seen Seneca here quite a few times. We've had Middlesex County up in here. We had Kent State also with a strong representation. Algoma coming through. So many teams to mention. But, I mean, we did see qualifiers. Canada West also bringing in quite a bit of that heat. I've not yet seen Cookie, right, come on in and bring us a little bit of something. I'm not quite sure. I don't think... Yeah, this is not the team that Cookie plays on. Cookie plays for the other Canada West team. So, I mean, it would have been so much fun. But, it still says Canada West. So, we can call all 4 of their players Cookie. Why not?
Yeah. Honestly, why not? Because they were all really good, and we want to see that cookie-type performance coming in from them tonight. So yeah, I see no problem with that whatsoever, TK. But yeah, we are going to be heading over into Erangel first up, and as we look at the overalls, like we kind of reminisce on what happened last night, I'm kind of feeling like we've got a lot to discuss here. There's still a big point gap between Vancouver and Red River in first and second place, but the rest of that lobby is looking very, very small put together, like gap-wise.
Yeah, there's not a lot currently deterring any of these teams from applying themselves and potentially maybe taking up a higher seat, right? Getting themselves right up in that prize pool distribution. So excited to see who's going to be the ones to look to shake that up here today. And yeah, we're looking forward to all the excitement that they are going to be bringing on into that. So as we've mentioned, we've already seen a few teams perform. We'll take a look at that when we get into the leaderboards later on as well. But one thing that I noticed is that we see Seneca B sitting a little bit further down the board, even though they have a winner chicken dinner to brag with. So I want to see today be even more of that. But speaking about more of that, of course, we can also mention that lovely device that we saw, and of course the one that we can see on screen right there. So as we know, that is more than just a selfie stick. It is the Hohem iSteady V3 Ultra. It combines a gimbal, a tripod extension rod, as well as a full light. You can see that right there at the bottom side, all in one compact device. So it gives you everything you need to shoot like a pro, as we are going to be looking at a few players looking to step out onto that battlefield, looking to do the same thing. And I think the nice thing about this also is that there's an opportunity, right, as we've seen, be part of the Campus Championship for teams to qualify to move forward into the next phase, right? So there is somewhere beyond this, right? It's not just all the different schools clashing and then it's like everybody had their fun and the winning teams get their distribution and like boom, that's it, right? We also know that we've seen in past seasons that there was the PMSL qualification qualifier slots coming through to that as well. So a lot to look forward to for these teams, and of course they have to do it somewhere, right? They have to step onto the battlefield, and we will be giving them 4 battlefields here as we take a look over to Erangel, Miramar, Sanhok, and Rondo. It's going to be an exciting day.
Yeah, a very exciting round of maps we've got coming here. I love that Rondo is map number last, as you like to say, because it just adds so much drama to the whole event. Because Erangel is normal bread and butter, Miramar bread and butter just with a little extra grit in it. Sanhok, everybody's used to this map, but it is the map of chaos. And then you come to Rondo, and Rondo is double eliminations because of those recalls. So you have the opportunity to get far more points than you would normally. And so for these teams to have Rondo at the very end, where a team could come in from 8th or 9th if that gap is close enough and win the whole thing just off of Rondo, is an insane possibility that I think a lot of teams will be scared of.
Well, let's see if there's going to be any teams potentially to be scared of here, right? I don't know if that's necessarily going to be a big thing, but we'll find out in due course. The teams are getting ready to load into that plane for the first time, so we can see exactly where the flight path is going to be taking us, where everyone's going to be dropping on down. But first things first, right? You got to take those branches and leaves and everything that has gotten caught in the propellers. You got to take them out, otherwise it's not really going to start up. I hope that doesn't really happen, because why would you go park in the woods? It doesn't make sense, right? But any which way, that's what hangars are for, right? To ensure that doesn't happen. But I've asked you this question a few times before, and
Yes.
I've still not gotten a proper answer, the answer that I'm looking for. I want to know how the seats are organized in this plane, right? I want to know, like, how are they putting all these players into the one plane? I know it's doable, right? But is it 2 rows, you know, each going down the side of the plane? Is there 2 rows on the outside and 2 rows on the inside? Are they sitting all facing the front? Like, what's happening? Because you got to get up, you have a parachute. And have you seen some of those parachutes?
Yeah, there's a lot of material there, right? It's a lot of weirdness going on. I think it's 2 down the side and then 2 down the middle, but facing out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it's kind of the same, maybe. Yeah, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure. Yeah. If you're watching and you have an answer for us, you can let us know in the chat. I'm really curious about this. So if you know what the exact model of the airplane is, then maybe I can go find out how it's supposed to work. But in the meantime, while we wait for all the players to load in, we are going to be heading into that first Erangel of the day. And of course, it will also be the final Erangel for these teams to play on. So whatever they can't pull together moving into this final showing here, it's going to be so sad, but unfortunately, you know, it's just what it is, right? You're gonna have to try and pick it up as we move into Miramar, Sanhok, and of course the final match, which is gonna be the lovely, exciting, crazy, wacky Rondo.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's true what you say, right? Being the bread and butter of PUBG Mobile, Erangel is the most important map in some ways. So if a team is unable to get it right on this map, they are now thrown for a loop, because most teams' best map is going to be that Erangel. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. Last night we did have a very strange zone. I feel like it went straight to the island, went down south, and then pulled right back up to the mainland. So it had a lot of teams ping-ponging a little bit. Hopefully it's a little easier for them this time around, because we do want to see that strategy come into play. A lot of time with those difficult zones, you're just unable to play your game. You're just chasing the zone constantly, and it's just not a good time. So hopefully for these teams, for the last Erangel, if there's going to be any clashes, it's got to be because they chose to clash and not because the zone made them.
Well, we'll find out if anybody is going to be clashing, as we've now passed the initial safety check, so we know that we are good to go. The runway has been cleared. Now we can hear the players getting told that they are ready to jump. Seats are now unbuckled. I like that automatic switch coming through. But where are they going to look to drop down? Where is that zone going to take them? Of course, only time will tell us exactly how this will all pan out. So yeah, let's see who is going to be making some major upsets potentially happening, as we are starting over on that western side, heading straight across the way over towards Malta Power. So I gotta say, a fairly decent flight path to start off the proceedings here for the last day. But now comes the big question. Where is that zone gonna go?
I think everybody would hate me if I said my gut feeling is the South Island again. I don't know, just something about the way this plane path is coming across, the angle, the direction, just the placement of it in general. I get the feeling we're gonna go to the south. I don't want that for these teams. I just got done saying how I don't want that for these teams. However, gut feeling is a gut feeling, and I gotta be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, nothing quite like a contradiction coming in every now and again, right? You just gotta, you know what? I just said this, but I'm gonna prove myself wrong. Let's go the other way. But I can see how you kind of drew that conclusion because this does look like a fairly plain flight path, right? So it makes sense. I guess I can probably understand that, but we'll find out soon enough whether or not you're on the money or maybe just, you know, really wanting some chaos for these teams. Because I'm happy with both, but yeah, you just wanted chaos, and the Zoran said, you know what? No, let's make it rather challenging. Let's take it up to the north and see how these teams can get themselves situated, especially looking at the number of teams that we have heading down towards that southern position.
Sorry, I'm still reeling from the plane pun that you made there. I caught that. I don't know if anybody else did, but I did. Anyway, that zone, yes, I much prefer this for these teams. Somebody's going to be very happy up in Severny, up in shooting range area. They're going to claim those hills, and they're going to have a great time. No real clashes just yet. We do see something down by Quarry. It looks like potentially somebody's had a little bit of a gone a little too far here. Who is this though? Oh, and Lipovka, an interesting hot drop that you wouldn't normally think of, but happens a lot in esports. We often see a clash happen in Lipovka. Why? I have no idea. Lipovka's a weird town anyway, but sure. But it is going to be Middlesex County going up against RTD here. Is that Alabama? I think it might be Alabama. No?
No. That there is Kent. I believe it is.
Oh!
Is it not?
Okay.
No, it's still Yeet. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
it
yeah.
is Kent.
Ooh.
It's Kent. It's Kent. It's Kent.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
to death. R2D. Yeah. You're right.
No. There's two of them, right? There's two RTD. So you might have been right with Alabama. Yeah, you are. It is indeed Alabama
right.
coming on
Okay.
through here. Alabama, Birmingham, to be exact. One of them stepping up here onto the battlefield. Which one is it though, right? Is it A or B? Well, this is an easy answer. There's only one. So it is, it's A.
Yeah. It is A, it is one, it's whatever you want to call it, because there is only one, and it is going to be Alabama versus Middlesex County B. And again, it's, I kind of make fun of Lipovka hot drops a little bit, because I don't understand them. The city is not particularly good loot-wise, like, it's not a fantastic position. There's not enough loot to go around a full squad a lot of the time. There are some good sort of vehicle drops. You got your boats, I suppose, things like that, but I find it quite easy to actually gatekeep as well. And what more often than not, what we see here in hot drops in Lipovka is teams just stagnate here because they get a good position in a way that makes the other team unable to leave, and they kind of just sit there. So it's one of those hot drops I don't always understand. It does look like for now they're going to be avoiding that kind of stagnation, because it does look like Middlesex County are going to be moving to the north and trying to get out of there as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Alabama seemed to have picked up a fairly easy point for themselves, an early point. But in general, it's just like, do we have to hot drop Lipovka? I don't know. What do you think, DK?
So the way I see it is like it's going to a buffet and there's only one Pop-Tart left, right? And you and another person are approaching the buffet, but you're both going for that last Pop-Tart, right? And you are the one to get it. That's what I see happening in Lipovka. That's what it is, right? So make from that whatever you please, but that's what I see. If we have two teams dropping up in Lipovka, it's they're fighting over Pop-Tart. You know, it's fun for everybody involved. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else, but that's okay.
Fair enough.
Because at the end of the day, somebody gets a Pop-Tart. Speaking about Pop-Tarts, though, there are none of them up in Yasnaya Poliana, so it is going to be an interesting position for Red River to go through, as they are quite well situated. We do see quite a few teams, of course, rotating up just alongside them. ITSV also now getting shot at here, as Middlesex County B is going to spot that rotation coming through. But they won't be too deterred, right? ITSV, they are going to look to prioritize the zone positioning as they move further and further upwards. The big question for me, though, is where, though? Because are they going to rotate all the way up in towards Severny? Are they going to stop somewhere along the way? Or are they going to look to maybe find a strategy to get themselves situated up into Yasnaya Poliana, or maybe up in Stelba?
Maybe. I think that's where we're seeing a lot of teams start to head, is going straight up to the north side and make sure that they got a position early. It's what I like to see. It's what I expected teams to be doing. In a northern circle, you're often going to be going probably south Severny, if not Severny itself. So you do want to get those hills under your control as soon as possible. It's very open. Once you have them, it is hard to actually attack if they're very good defensive position. So you do want to get those early, and that's exactly what we've seen here. Another nice position here for southeastern Louisiana. That's another way to play this circle, is just being able to gatekeep teams trying to get those early positions. If you can get some gatekeep clashes early, get some early points, that might just be the momentum you need to get further in the game.
Yeah. Ooh. Or you could just do what Nexus does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just come running on
roll
through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's safe to say Lexus is on a roll, right? So well done to Lexus for bringing the assist in to help Krish secure that first elimination for the team. Of course, yeah, to the victor goes the spoils, and Lexus now moving up, ensuring they get all the goodies, all the loot from that box. The same can be said here for Vancouver, who we saw popping off quite a bit in those qualifiers, right? But I want to see a little bit of that yet again. I mean, they've actually not, done too poorly with their overall positioning with regards to the standings, right? 51 points. It's like, it's a lot compared to the rest of the team. So I want to see, is today going to be the day in which they go full God mode, right? Are we going to see God show everything out on this battlefield? Whoa. They come through with the defenders. I mean, Shikari is going to be maybe shaking a little bit under the boat as the shots go flying on end. Defender playing the big brain strats. It's like, oh yeah, you forgot your scuba snorkel thing. I'll just dip in the water and see where you are and, just help you get a dry spot in the lobby.
Yes, indeed. That is unfortunate. Vancouver, you're talking about them. Are we going to see something similar from them that we saw last night? Are they going to continue that streak tonight? So far, with 3 eliminations and 8 minutes on the clock, it certainly seems that way. I don't even know who they took out, but it is going to be at least 3 or 2 other than that one that we just saw there be taken on out. So a really good start for them. Really, really good start indeed. We should see a little bit more coming up from them. Again, the zone is going to shift north once more, and it is going to that area that I said it commonly does go to, is that Severny/shooting range area, those hills just south of shooting range. Very, very common to have this kind of zone in this quarter of the map. So I think a lot of teams should know what they're doing here. It should be a fairly playable area, and we are starting to see a few teams start to make that rotation really early as well. Notably, the team in red there, let me just grab their name really quickly. It's going to be, oh goodness, this is Southern Louisiana. We saw them down at the crossroads by the bridge, and they're making a very quick rotation through teams that were here earlier to get a prime position. This is going to be a really good spot that's going to keep them there to the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the way they move up, they move like they're homies. It's like, yo, what's up? Like you can see it. Also, that's their name as well. So they find themselves, of course, right there alongside the team going through from Portage. So there could be a little bit of pressure being applied from Portage side. In the meantime, Vancouver now filling the gap, getting shot on multiple ends here as they will get just whooped out of that vehicle. Defender also trying to survive, trying to keep that car moving forward. But there we have it. It is going to be Vancouver down to only 2 remaining players now. And so it all starts, right? This is the start of phase number 2. We are looking at casualties. We are looking at teams getting taken out of here. And it is looking pretty unfortunate, but you know what? That's the way it goes.
Ooh, this is an awesome skin for the buggy, though. Look at those wheels. Hope none of them get popped as the shots come flying on through here. Looks like Gurjar is going to find a couple of hits there, but not enough to do anything serious there. Algoma choosing not really the high ground or the open area, but a compound down into really that southern compound of south of Severny is going to be a really good spot there. but it is open around. They're going to have to be careful if they have to move out of it soon. Arkansas State, however, in a little bit of an altercation themselves up against Kent. They have been spotted here. And it looks like they can't decide whether they're going to stay or leave, and I'm talking about both teams there because half of them are smoking up those vehicles ready for an escape, and half of the team of Kent are doing kind of the same thing. But there we go, Delulu is going to go down, and that's a shot from the other side here. Surely Kent noticed that, and they're going to be moving on in. Yes, they do. Or they're in their vehicles. Are they moving away? It looks like they're going to move away here. They don't want really all of that smoke. The nade is going to be shot through. They're going to try and see if they can do something here. Fury on the other side from Seneca going to be taking shots against Arkansas. They have been spotted. So that's Delulu down again. And this time, are they able to reach him?
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it up to Seneca, though. They are an absolute menace in this lobby right now. It is looking quite challenging for Kent and the rest of the teams in the nearby area to hold strong, to hold steady. But they're holding on, at least for the time being. So Seneca not necessarily securing those cleanups, not getting the confirmations. As we can see, Delulu has been brought back. And the same can be said here for the Kent side as well. But I like the fact that it was just a slight little minor setback. Both teams getting ready to continue the engagements as utilities now start making their way on through. That grenade, unfortunately, not being able to reach all the way in. So I'm curious as to how Kent is going to look to continue that engagement, right? Are they going to maybe try and get a little bit closer? Speaking about getting closer, it is Jester here from Seneca A spotting Seneca B as that rotate comes through. Seneca, either of these squads, right? They are just so menacing on the battlefield here.
They really, really are. They're making the most of their position for sure. I do want to see what, oh gosh, what YIC is going to be able to do here. Portage. I want to see what they're going to do. They got in very interesting position in my eyes. I like where they're headed with this. There's a little bit of high ground. There's, you know, they're 2-2 split outside the zone right now, and the zone is starting to come on in, so they do have to move fairly quickly. But I think a lot of teams are opting for more of those clashes onto the north side into the center of zone as well. And so I think they just might be left alone for enough time to be able to get their bearings.
Well, let's see. Will their bearings be put on straight, or is it maybe going to go in a different direction? Of course, we don't know just yet, but looking at what we have coming through here for Red River, this is definitely going to be quite an interesting point to take entry from. I mean, these hills could provide them with quite a bit of an opportunity to not only get a play over on towards that slightly more southern side, but also right over on towards their west as well. Because for Middlesex County, that is going to prove to be quite challenging, right? They now have to keep a close eye on the high ground to ensure that they don't get jumped. Speaking about jumped, look over on towards that far southern side. We did see one of the players there from ITSV, unfortunately getting sent away as well. But now comes that full send. Shooting range is going to prove to be an exceptionally challenging position to play through, especially with all the high ground in the surrounding area. But it's curious that the teams are kind of just either up high or on a compound towards that northern side, as we now anticipate that zone shift coming through as well.
Oh, ITSV get eliminated here. Down they go as teams are trying to find their way in here. Also, UCW taking some shots over towards Portage. We got some nades in, I was about to say nades in the chat as well. Nades in the Elam feed as well. It's kind of a chat, right? It's PUBG Mobile's chat. It's letting us know the status.
They're saying you the bomb, and then it's like, no, not quite. But thanks for the effort though. Management is gonna step in here, looking to see what they can get done as Red River now tries to defend their position. It is gonna be Alabama with a beautiful nade. Delete on the money there. Delete also almost hitting that delete button as well. So let's see if Sinner from the Vancouver side on the opposite edge of zone can do something in response. I mean, Red River, they have a long way to go to get themselves securely positioned in the zone. You can even say it might be quite a bit of a laborious approach that they have to take, but not quite sure if Alabama is going to even allow that to happen here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. As we head over to southeastern Louisiana, Godless is not. They want to keep him alive. It's the only player to have any elims on the team so far, and the rest of their enemies are swarming right now. They want to make sure they don't get away with that. Red River, on the other hand, Labor, the last solo left alive here, moving into zone without any vehicle whatsoever. Teams on both sides. Oh, goodness me. Diljit does go down. That is going to be Labor taking out one. And stealing his car! Labor, you legend!
It's like, no. Let me help you. Let me help you. It's not your car. I can drive it faster. Look at me go. Speaking about look at me go, that is exactly what Blink is saying here as well. If you blink, you might miss it. As Al Pacino is going to get rushed. Labor now rotating up here, and this is where we get to see just what Red River's approach is coming into today. So far, not a single elimination has gone their way, right? They've tried a lot, but with, not necessarily the same level of results. But, I mean, it's not too surprising, because if we look back at the previous Erangel that we had Red River playing in, they got a whole bunch of damage, but we didn't quite see eliminations being secured by them. So,
Yeah.
the same kind of consistency is holding true. Hopefully, it's a kind of consistency that they can look to change.
Oh, hang on. Whoa, lots of shotguns happening here. Blinking, you might miss it. Down he goes. That's gonna be Nobi cleaning up shop here, and I'm laughing at Labor here. He's just running around trying to get as many elims with this vehicle as possible. And now he's going to move on into zone as well. Portage, unfortunately, do get eliminated. Caster Curse is real, as Middlesex County are just down into the middle of shooting range here, into the dugout. And they're just trying to do anything. But the problem with that position, DK, is that it's on the edge of zone. It's unlikely that they're going to be able to do anything further if they don't get out quickly. And I think Labor now at the mouth of the tunnel is going to make sure nothing does happen now.
I mean, I like the fact that Labor is just, fully and properly enjoying the fruits of their labor here as well, right? It's a lot of hard work that has gone into ensuring that the team can continue to move upwards and onwards. 2 eliminations already secured for the side there of Red River. Punk now, again, also the final hope for their team, also sitting with 2 eliminations. We see a little bit of a pattern that is developing over here. But speaking about patterns, here comes another pattern. It is going to be a chicken that is walking across the screen wearing a helmet, because that makes perfect sense. And then plop, up to the roof he goes, and out comes a code on the other end. So that is a $5 Amazon gift card. So be sure to head on over and go claim that. It is fastest fingers first, and that's exactly what has been said here about labor. As it becomes quite intensive, down they go, but a beautiful response now being played. The tunnel is safe, at least for the time being.
At least for the time being, until the zone closes and it moves away, because inevitably that's what's going to happen. It would take a hard shift and a half for it to actually stay on that area. So they're going to have to start making some plans. Yep, away it goes there. Several teams having to make that move. All amongst each other, really, and it's going to be Kent at the forefront of it in that gatekeep position, having to be careful of teams up onto the high ground, but still wanting to gatekeep as much as possible here. Algoma's in the background. I think Goblin's going to go down to the blue eventually here. Just deny that point away from anybody else. There we go. That's going to be it. But no, that was a knock, so Ninja is actually going to take that point. GG's there. Vancouver, big team we've seen from them based on yesterday. 4 points on the board so far. Nothing crazy, especially with only 8 teams remaining. So we're not going to be having the huge game we saw from them in the first match last night, but still, it is going to keep them ahead of the game. Or not, maybe. Just going a little too much, overextending a little too far. And that's going to be God going on down. Some smoke's being pulled out here by Middlesex County. They're going to try and move up, move out as much as possible, but just teams will not let them move.
Yeah, but you got to chill with those caster curses, right? I mean, you've shown it. You've shown it off twice now, showing that.
Yeah, sorry.
It's still working. Right, but now, Wusa, it's not needed. We want to see what these teams can do here. As there's going to be Vancouver coming through with a beautiful jump shot. It's going to be Nobi getting taken on out of here, as is Spear, and that is it. Middlesex County A, off they go in 7th place. doing a good job, though. They did put up quite a bit of a fight, but, well, let's see if Ninja can also put up quite a bit of a fight. As we can see, Sinner is super low on health, so this could be maybe a quick, easy cleanup coming through for the side of Kent. Already 6 eliminations to their name. Can they find more? And Sinner, that spot is not as good as you think, as Ninja proves the point. Vancouver out of here.
GG, Vancouver able to just keep afloat in terms of that leaderboard, but not doing quite enough to widen the gap maybe as much as they would have liked. Ninja's going to put a stop to that. And I tell you what, KSU coming in with 7 eliminations so far. Just 5 teams remaining, so not that much opportunity for more, or a lot more points than that, but still a really good start to the evening for them. But I will say, we've also got Southeastern Louisiana here with 6 eliminations, not far behind, and arguably with a better position.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely not a bad spot. Those ridges, those little dips and hills and everything in between is going to help them quite a bit. But let's see, can they secure the necessary angles? Because Ninja, I think, is one to watch here, right? Thor, instead, is going to get hammered up on the side of that hill, so... Gotta watch out, right? That hovercraft can only last so long. And then the only thing that starts to hover is your HP bar. But now, look at this. It is going to be Louisiana again looking to apply the pressure. They are, to some extent, I would say, kind of gatekeeping the western side of zone.
Yeah, they really are, and that's the control that you want to be finding in the end zones, right? That is exactly where you want to be finding yourself in terms of position, in terms of power when it comes to that top 5 that you see yourself in. Now, Middlesex County B going to be onto the northern side, having great outlook on everybody else, but the position itself could be dicey. They're on the edge of zone. They will probably have to move forward into these teams, so right now I would expect them to start getting as noisy as possible, trying to find any sort of pressure that they can put on these teams to make sure that they can get down into the zone where they need to be.
Well, you know, as they say, pressure is where diamonds are made. So who's going to be the one to shine? As No Mercy quickly pops the tire out, just trying to ensure that they have a little bit of that mobile cover. But it is quite removed from the zone itself, so not quite certain how they're going to look to rotate up here. But Burpee getting ready, all primed and good to go, just waiting for the angles to line up. Thor has been chilling in this hovercraft for such a long time. I mean, it's almost like the players have accepted it as a part of the terrain. But let's see if that strategy is going to bode well here for Thor, as No Mercy maybe has a bit of an idea, right? Surely they could find something across the way. It is going to be Godless now starting to rotate up. Thor moving the hovercraft forward. So no longer can that element of stealthness be utilized, as it is Kent down to their final remaining hopeful here. Spidey trying to open up the sprays. We did see Spidey doing quite a bit of work in previous matches, but can Spidey hold true yet again? Thor knocking on the door. They want in, but it is going to be Southeastern Louisiana looking to deny entry, and that is exactly what happens. They put a stop right to it.
They do indeed, and oh, I feel bad for Louisiana, stuck up in that shack and down one man now. That's going to be Burpee trying to get some smokes out, just trying to block some sight lines. Do anything he needs to. The zone, DK, the zone actually does center up on them. The compound is fully inside this new zone, inside of stage 7. Burpee doesn't need to do anything, and if anything, he's now overextended just a little bit. He needs to move back. He finds his way back eventually, but now it is up to those teams on the hillside to come to them.
I like that from Burpee. Like, yeah, you know, let's move out in anticipation. It's like, nope, I gotta go back. I was much safer back in the compound. But now it's gonna be quite a bit of a challenge for the remaining teams to get a bit of a contentious angle onto Middlesex County B over here, because we can see Canada West also with a slow, steady approach. Again, not going to be looking to overcommit just yet, but they will try to, at least to some extent, get themselves much, much closer and in more of a controlling angle here. Oh, it is also looking quite dangerous, as you can see right there on the screen as well. Of course, the players there from the side of Alabama, again, just trying to test the waters, finding out that there are indeed sharks swimming around. So They can't make any decisive plays just yet. Meanwhile, Southeastern Louisiana, it's not yet fully committed to that zone.
No, they were. I mean, the good thing about being two in the shack here is you're able to have that instant backup. They're able to actually move on in and get that revive going, and that's exactly what you need because now Spidey's decided to just move in, and down he goes instantly. That's going to be another one falling, and Southeastern Louisiana all of a sudden have lost 2. It's just down to Godless. 1 knock left alive, and that won't be for long. How on earth did a push like that go so badly? Oh my goodness me. Canada West probably had something to do with it. They were able to just, you know, help from the other side here, but that is going to be Louisiana down to a solo, even though they pick up those eliminations, and Drangu is going down. 5 eliminations on his side, but he will have no more no longer. Down he goes. Lutava is able to pick that elimination up. Now it is just down to 6 players alive, and I tell you what, most of those players belong to that team up into the north side. That is going to be where the focus is, because other than them, it is just 3 solos.
Yeah, I mean, so as we know, solos do possess quite a bit of power, so I'm quite curious to see exactly whether or not Middlesex County can close this up. At least they need only 1 hit to end the run there for Canada West, so we are now down to the final 3. So a handful of solos going up against Middlesex County B. I mean, Lutava has been holding their own pretty well. You can say the same here for Godless as well. But what's going to come through for Middlesex County? They only have 2 eliminations on the board. Lexus and Krish, the only 2 players so far to secure themselves eliminations for this team. Now, Lutava is going to be cooking up a nade, looking to see if they can maybe play a bit of an upset. Ooh, is the nade going to reach though? You don't want to get caught outside. Beautiful spray here from Godless, but down they go as Burpee has been doing their homework, right? Coming through with a beautiful off-angle approach. And the squad not quite wiped just yet, but I don't see Burpee being able to move there without effort, right? It is going to take quite a bit of focus to bring the numbers back up again, but this also grants Lutava a bit of an opportunity, right? Make sure that you can maybe try and play for an angle while the rest of the team from Middlesex is currently kind of distracted.
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly where you want to be, right? But I don't think he's going to take advantage of it. To be honest, though, DK, he's kind of in the middle of zone right now. So with Stage 9 coming on through, I think actually here's the best place for him, just because the other team's going to have to move to him. So he's in a position of power right now.
Well, let's see if that shack is going to allow even more of a continuation here. As Lutava has a great vantage point, right? Can definitely see what is coming through from Middlesex County. But is it going to be enough? Can Lutava time the angles to perfection? And of course, it makes it quite obvious as to where Lutava is, as you said, right? That shack is going to be prime real estate. But how well is it going to work, though, for Lutava as it is stage number 9? So that means the blue is going to force the rotations here from Middlesex County. And I mean, Lutava better be ready for all this heat that's going to come in their direction.
But Burpee only has 30-odd bullets left. That is it. He does not have more than 1 mag. So Burpee's going to have to be very, very careful with what he does here. Nades are going to be used instead just because they want to keep that ammo. I don't know how much Krish has here, but Burpee for sure doesn't have a lot. Nice nades coming across just to keep them on the edge of zone. He knows he probably can't win that 1v2, so he's just going to try and keep them away. Keep them pushed up against the edge of zone, but they're not listening to him. They're evading those nades. Let's see. Oh, that one could be an excellent one. Burpee could go down here very, very low, and now it's Lutava's turn to move. There we go, and now it's just a 1v1. Lutava's playing this amazingly down. No! He was 1 HP! 1 HP, but Krish takes it, and Middlesex College is going to be the winner of the final Erangel of this event.
I was about to say Lutava taking care of business, but I couldn't end up saying that. But what a good recovery that was coming through from Middlesex County. I mean, it was almost a little bit too close, right? But they held on, they held strong, and they were able to crush it at the end, getting their hands on that winner chicken dinner. But I think we got to give it up to Rutava. Rutava did a phenomenal job with those nades. They were absolutely on point, but it is going to be Sammy who is going to be our MVP right then and there, coming through with a very strong performance all the way from southeastern Louisiana, making sure that they can get the ball going. So yeah, a very, very satisfying approach from them.
Yeah, for sure. They've done, I think, to be honest, all of these teams have done a really, really good job of just staying the course, making sure they get a few points to put themselves on that leaderboard, make sure everybody's close together, ready for that rondo. So I really like the way the teams are playing this. Very well played by all of these teams in this game in particular. It's a difficult zone. But we'll see who our MVP is, and I think we know it's going to be Alabama coming in. 8 eliminations total, 1,627 damage. A far cry from the big games that we saw last night, but still doing the work, doing what they need to do. So big congrats over to Alabama for being our MVP for Erangel this evening.
Yeah, a really well-deserved award going over to them there. 1,600 damage. That is a whole bucket load of damage coming through for them. So I like this. I like the numbers that we are looking at here. But of course, speaking about the numbers, let's take a look at the big numbers, because this is what it's all about. The teams fighting for those top positions. And there we have it, right? Vancouver still in the same spot. We do see Red River moving down into 4th, even though they started the day off in that 2nd position. So it has been quite a bit of a challenging run coming through from them. Canada West aiming upwards and onwards, as they've now been able to secure themselves all the way up in towards 2nd. Kent also with a beautiful upward trend. So I like where these teams are going, applying a lot of pressure out onto the lobby itself.
It is indeed still keeping just slightly ahead, but as you look down those leaderboards, it's looking more and more dangerous for all of these teams. I'm really excited to see what we're going to be seeing going into that Miramar. We did see some pretty spicy hot drops over there as well, so less so on the Erangel tonight than we did last night. I wonder if it's going to be the same on Miramar. They might just use what the map gives them, that space that the map gives them, to actually just take advantage of that and use it and slow that game right on down, but we will see. Certainly would be a good idea from a point standpoint. Just make sure you get as much survival time as possible here. But yeah, I think we see a lot of these teams just not only doing exactly what they need to do, but just doing enough to make sure everybody is on board. This is a very, very competitive lobby. Anybody could win here. Yes, we do have our big standout teams, but it seems like we have a different winner every single time. So love to see it, and it makes me excited for that Miramar coming up.
Yep, it is going to be quite exciting indeed. But match number 1 for the final day has been concluded. We know who got the chicken, but the big question is, who is going to be the next team to rise to the occasion? One thing that I did notice is that we are not going for 22 pointers this time around, right? 20 pointer matches, right? We're getting close, but not quite all the way there. So it does show that the lobby is, of course, choosing a lot more of a distributed showing of aggression. A lot more teams being able to secure themselves eliminations. But I got to say, those nades, oh, they were just so beautiful. Good. I think Chef Ramsay would approve of those. Like it was cooked to perfection.
Yeah, it really, really was. Some really good stuff coming in. I want to see more of that on Miramar, but maybe with minis?
Ooh. Well, speaking about minis, that means, of course, one thing. We're going to have to hop into a break. So be sure to stay tuned, and we'll see you back on the other side. muted? It seems like I am. Why am I muted? I shouldn't be muted. Nobody mute me, please. Yeah, it was a thing. So I'm trying to become a mime, it seems, right? I am training myself on all my mimery, because why not, right? But so excited to get into our second match of the day. I think it was good that I was muted because I was imitating the gunshot sounds when I came back, right? So yeah, maybe it was a good decision for that mute to be in place. But yeah, it is going to be time for us to step over into Miramar to see what the teams are going to be doing in the Dusty Dunes. And of course, who will be the one to step up to claim the prize of the next winner chicken dinner. Is it this time going to be a 20 bomb that's going to be coming in?
On Miramar, that's very difficult to do. I mean, generally, a lot of eliminations means you're pretty close to each other, so unless we just have one massive hot drop with one team coming out on top, I doubt that's really going to happen. Our quietest game yesterday was also on Miramar, so I do feel like we're probably going to see that again. I would love a 20 bomb win on a Miramar. That'd be awesome. Are we gonna get it? I don't think so. But DK, are we going to get hot drops? That's what I want to know. I think
there's a chance for that, right? So I'm not quite sure if that is going to be happening though, but we'll find out soon enough whether or not these players are going to look to bring in all that pressure, all the angles. But speaking about angles, speaking about pressure, there's something that is lightweight, that's foldable, it's pocket-sized. It's the Hohem iSteady V3 Ultra. It is built for creators on the go. So yeah, this thing is pretty powerful. Maybe even powerful enough for pro content, yet small enough to carry anywhere. I've mentioned this before. You can put it in your pockets, right? I said it yesterday. Well, I can put it in my pocket. We don't quite know if Neb can put it in her pockets because apparently she doesn't have pockets. So that's the thing. So if you're a normal person with proper pockets on their pants, you can put it in your pocket pants, in your pants pocket, whichever one comes first. But of course, other than that, you can always just put it in your backpack, right? That also works quite well. So if you're interested in the device, we have a link down in the description for you to check it out. It is pretty nifty and it has a lot of cool features. So yeah, let us know if you are curious about that. In the meantime, the curiosity will also kind of stick here with Miramar. So tell us, what do you see coming into game number 2 here for today?
Game number 2, I mean, I talked about it a little bit already, but I feel like we might see a couple of teams try and do a little bit of a hot drop. We did see an Erangel as well, but they kind of moved off very quickly. Same sort of thing's probably going to be happening here for Miramar. I think we're going to have a very quiet game, certainly in the first half. The zone, probably not going to do anything particularly crazy. We're just going to go and have a normal game of good old Pogi Mogi. I'm excited to get into it. The game is about to begin. And let's get into it. I'm very ready for this. This is one of my very favorite maps. I want to see a lot of bolties. I want to see a lot of minis, DMRs. Let's do it. And that flight path, actually, DK, is going to be moving down to that southwestern side, not really giving a lot of these teams room to actually spread out and go.
Well, I mean, they can to some extent spread out and go, right? Depending if they land on a vehicle or not. Otherwise, it's just going to be a hurry up and run. So that could maybe result in a little bit of chaos and carnage. But it's interesting to see, of course, the players there from, I believe, ITV heading straight down to Partona. So good to see a little bit of action heading in that direction as well. But the big kicker, of course, is going to be where that zone is going to be taking us.
That is the big question, right? With a plane path this skewed, it is going to be difficult if it goes up to the north or even if it centers, right? Because so many of these teams are going to be down to the south side. So anywhere the zone kind of goes except matching the plane path, I think is going to be difficult for a lot of teams here. So we will see how that's going to shape on up. So far, not a lot of hot drops being seen here. Sure, you might have a couple of teams close to each other in Los Leones, but really, other than that, I'm not seeing too much hassle going on down. The zone is actually going to go pretty much smack dab in the center of the map. So a lot of these teams going to be big chilling here, particularly those over in Picado and San Martin.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely starting point here. But so, it's already been... Who is going to look... so far, it is going to be Middlesex County B here looking to see if they can maybe try and push it even further. We know the performance that they've brought in over on Erangel. Is it good this time around? Well, it might not work out for Pasha, though. But maybe the rest of the team, Burpee and Lexus and Krish, can come in to bring in a bit of a helping hand. But now it is going to be Canada West coming through with a full send as they are getting themselves much, much closer. Drango going up, looking to close it off and secure at least their first point for this match.
Yes, indeedy. As we see Canada West doing some more looting here. Mini on board. Vector, not the best choice, but perhaps not his first choice either. We see, I mean, the Vector used to be a very good weapon, and I suppose in some ways it still is, but I think it got replaced competitively by the UMP a few years ago, and people have kind of dropped it since, so it's interesting to see it here. Again, this is a very small compound, so probably the only option he had, but it is just interesting to see how that meta comes on through and just makes that rotation for vehicles, makes that rotation for weapons and what's popular, what is not. Doesn't look like actually Middlesex are going to be trying to grab this teammate back on up, so Drangoon might, as you said, just have a very easy free point here. Gonna be interesting to see. I'm surprised that they haven't gone for this. I mean, I suppose they're just trying to make sure that they stay alive with as many players as possible, but it does feel like for a long time he was only a solo. They could have done something there, but sure, that's going to be the end of it. Pasha Bay is going to go on down, his teammates just watching helplessly from a distance, and Drango is going to crash into a rock. We did see that.
Yeah, says our notorious rock crusher over here. But yeah, let's see whether or not.
I think you muted.
I said the notorious rock crusher named Neptura over there. Speaking of which, we do see a confirmation being secured on the map right there. But I'm looking at a bit of pressure starting to build in that southeastern side in Los Leones. So Red River gonna have a little bit of company coming through here, as it is, of course, Middlesex County rolling up to them. And we see it on that further southern side, it is Alabama, also not too far away. So the points are starting to build up, right? We got Kent and Alabama, both the R2Ds over on that southern side. I mean, I want to see them fight, right? Because who won? R2D.
Who won R2D? That is a good question.
Yeah, which one of them? So if R2D and R2D gets in an engagement, right? If Alabama and Kent have a fight, who wins? R2D.
I think it's going to be Kent based on how they've been playing, to be honest. If they go head to head, it's going to be Kent that takes it, personally. Yeah. But Alabama could surprise us. We've had some surprise. I mean, Alabama were the MVT in the last game, right? So clearly today they are stepping up. So perhaps it can be a more even fight than what we saw yesterday for sure. But we will see. 3 minutes still until that zone shows us stage number 2 here. So a long time to go here, DK. I think we're going to have a pretty slow game coming into this one. To be expected, much bigger map. Much more covered in terms of those long-range angles, so it's very difficult to actually see teams who are rolling past you here, but maybe we'll have a hot drop or two, a little clash or two to keep things spicy as we move over to Middlesex County 8 versus RRC down in Los Leones. It's not really a hot drop here because Los Leones is so big, and they didn't really drop on the same locations, but it does look like Middlesex have moved on forwards, and RRC, they said, we don't really want to give you any ground, so it looks like they're a little bit closer than might be comfortable for both of them. We'll see how that's going to pan out here, as it just looks like a little bit of a stagnant, just keeping an eye on each other as we wait for that zone to close on up.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one to see how this all plays out. But I just want to say, to make the statement so that everybody knows, if anything happens to Kent, you can point fingers at Neptura, because she said things about them, and I don't know if they would approve, right? When you say things about teams, because we know what happens, but let's see what is going to happen here for Red River, whether or not they can get the jump in onto Middlesex A, as it is going to be the whole squad situated just ahead of them. But you were talking about Red River not looking too determined necessarily to get into a fight, and it still holds true, right? Both squads kind of just sitting here awkwardly looking at each other. It's like, you go. Like, no, you go. Like, no, you go. Hugo's not even here, right? I don't think he entered the lobby. So it is going to be a pretty tough one for either of these squads to decide who will be gaining control of Los Leones.
It is indeed, but is anybody going to want control of Los Leones? Because when the zone moves in, it's unlikely to stay here. So I think potentially it's in both of these teams' interest to kind of move out of dodge here. You can see Mechanic start to take shots because that is going to be Iman going on down, and now Middlesex might just have a problem. They tried to get out of here, but Iman goes down on that off angle. Now Spear and Nobi, they're trying to get out of the way, but they're just being pincered here. Spear goes down as well.
Ooh.
Nobi is left alive, and Labor somehow on the top of this mountain has a fantastic off angle to allow his team to push on in, and Nobi might just be at the end of his tether here, just looking around, trying to find something, anything. Nobi's 1 HP, trying to get up to the second floor. Somehow he manages it. Oh, with that, comes around, wraps around with that. DBS gets the one. Mechanic goes down, trying to get any sort of bandaging he can do. Molly goes up. Not enough. He's just gonna try to get any heals going, but those nades are gonna come through the window. Big nade coming through, just about escapes it. Labor now moving on up. Gotta wait for his teammate, though. There we go. The 1v2 is now in play. Nades might just be chucked here. Oh, but the nade from management through the window. Sneak attack coming on through here. That's going to be Middlesex A out to the lobby ASAP.
I mean, that was a beautiful bait and switch, right? Sending two players up to distract, and then the finishing blow comes from behind. It's like, wow. That was that should go in a textbook, because that was beautiful. Speaking of which, though, we are going to be looking at that zone, pulling a little bit more towards the eastern side, centering up onto Graveyard. So it is going to be an exciting angle for the squads now to contest on the throws. You can see we might even actually have Kent and Alabama find each other on that southern side. Meanwhile, it is going to be Portage. We'll have a shortage of players as Criminal is going to get run on down, and things are looking pretty rough. But, of course, we do see the players there from southeastern Louisiana now holding on to the high ground. So there's still going to be a bit of a gatekeep opportunity for them, but definitely not at the expense of Vancouver.
Yes, indeed. Oh, and we go from one Middlesex County to the other, Middlesex County B. Having some unwelcome company because Algoma's moving on in, and Dog going on down there. R2D. And that's going to be them taking on out one of the players that just went past their building just a little too close here. And here we go. Portage now have to defend themselves against Vancouver. Vancouver with 2 eliminations already on board. This is a big team. We saw them from yesterday. Can they do something here again? Had a quieter game in the last match. Maybe the Miramar is where they shine. Down goes one. Famous gonna be the first to fall. Now it's just up to Aries, and it's a 1v3. Those shotguns versus Og. Really nice spray coming on through there. That's Aries taking down one. Now it's just a few more. Defender in the vehicle goes down sort of low, but not really. Can't quite match those shots up to be enough there. That could be an excellent nade, though. Right down onto the money. Oh, not enough. Not going to be doing much. Quick, get that Og out. Goes down one, but can't get the other. The shotguns are just too important, and Portage is going to be eliminated in 14th place.
That was an insane play coming through there. I mean, wow. That was hot. It was sweaty. It was almost uncomfortable. Good to see the teams bringing in the heat in this last day. But speaking about the heat, we are far from over it. As you can see, Algoma are going to be holding up in the church. We've got Middlesex County also then moving in just north of them. So there could still be quite a bit of a jump being applied right here. But who's going to be the one to get the job done, though? As you can see, it is Algoma seeming to get themselves positioned. I like the setup. Bropey, Krish, Lexus not quite fully aware of the whereabouts of Algoma. So, I mean, both sides could definitely look to capitalize on the surprise factor, but who can't capitalize on much of a position here is going to be Arkansas State, as they need to get out of that blue and much closer to the zone. They still have just over 500 meters to go, so that is going to require quite a lengthy rotation on their end. Meanwhile, Canada West also now just taking the plunge through that center zone positioning. Kent State also not too far away. So I like what the squads are doing here. They are setting up for even May Chaos, for even more Chaos and Carnage, as May has already passed. We're now in October, but look at that play though from Allen.
Goodness me, Alabama showing up and shutting down. Here we go. Gonna try and get his teammate back up here. Certainly, UCW have enough to contend with, but that Molotov might just be a little too spicy. Yeah, that's gonna probably make Allen burn just a little bit, and certainly his teammate as well, but Drangu does go down very, very low here, yet just another nick, and down he goes. That's gonna be 2 eliminations now for R2D, but Canada West, UCW. 1 hit, the last solo left alive for them, unfortunately for them. Just trying to get any information possible, I think, here. He's seeing Allen do what he needs to do, but yeah, he knows there's no help for him there, as Alabama gonna be the one with 3 eliminations, only 1 man down as a trade for that, so a really good trade, to be honest, especially with the position that they've been able to keep.
Yeah, well, I mean, a fair trade is a fair trade, right? So you got to try and capitalize on every available angle. But now the big question is, can Algoma try to get a little bit of something happening here? I mean, they've been stuck in that spot for a good while now. We've not seen much eliminations coming in their directions just yet. It is ITSV getting glitched out on the edge of the hill, and not a good spot because the blue is going to help back them up. Humble goes down. Ralo goes down as well. So, yeah, golden opportunity has been capitalized upon. But let's see who's going to be the one to close it out now. As we can see, Cocket Lamb coming through, picking up those 2 trades. They have lost a little bit of health over on Shikari, but maybe they can still bring Shikari back into the swing of things. Meanwhile, Canada West going to be holding on to the eastern front. Not quite sure if the shots will connect all the way through. Will it go the distance? And Gail also trying everything they can to secure just a little bit of a bounce back here, but unfortunately, being so far away from that safe area is going to be absolutely devastating to the health bar.
Yeah, it really is. I think you deny the point here. Yeah, he's going to try and heal up as best as he can, but he's got no real way into zone. There's Cocket Lamb right in front of him as well. So, yeah, this is going to be just a deny the point and just try and maybe steal a point away if he can spot somebody on a rotation, but otherwise that's the end of the road for him. As we move over to this zone now, we are centering up on Graveyard. I love Graveyard so much. This is a fantastic position that you can see several teams looking for that prime real estate. Certainly some things going on down there as Algoma might just lose power here and have to be careful. Coquelam trying to do something. Middlesex on the other side, just sandwiching this team in the church area. Meanwhile, Ruthless just spraying on down. Labor going very, very low there, but for now, RRC able to chill.
Yeah, I mean, it is looking pretty good. So let's see, can Red River lock it down? They have Graveyard under their control, at least for the time being. For Kent, though, it is not going to be an easy push. It is going to require still a little bit of determination, but they have the numbers. Now they just need to turn it into an advantage. Can they get the plays in? It is still such a difficult one to try and navigate here, because you got to watch down towards that western side. You got to try and keep focus on the teams ahead of you. So a lot being applied to the overall positions. I mean, Jonathan also just trying to keep nice and quiet. But you can see it is Red River just over on the side. So, I mean, if Red River moves a little bit closer to them, I think Jonathan might be in for a world of pain. But, I mean, Seneca A, though, also just trying to get a good read on what the zone is giving to them.
Reading the zone is going to be so, so important, especially in this particular phase, in this particular circle. It's so open. There's some really good high ground positions down to the south side, but if you're up on the north, Dips and valleys are going to be your best bet here. Vancouver able to hold down a really strong, important compound on that side of zone. So a lot of those teams going to have to be very careful with how they do this, how they plan ahead here. Kent State, meanwhile, 2 elims on the board down at the south side. Again, in a pretty tricky spot, actually. They're not in the best position ever. They do have some great angles over further into zone, but they themselves are out on the edge, and so they're probably going to be pushed out pretty soon. They also need to start making their plans ASAP, DK.
Yeah. Any plan at this point could maybe be a good plan, but of course it all depends on that execution. So it is going to be Seneca A now trying to find an approach onto the side there of southeastern Louisiana. Meanwhile, over towards the western side of the zone, things are nice and quiet, at least for the time being. But it is going to be southeastern Louisiana looking to make a little bit of a something happen here as the utilities now start to find their way across. Nothing finding the necessary connection just yet. But I like the warning shots going off here, right? But Southeastern Louisiana will have to show no mercy because they have Vancouver right there alongside them as well. So quite a bit of tension up on towards the north. And this is where I don't quite know how Louisiana are going to look to get themselves situated because they have opted for that 2-1-1 split. But the zone has forced their hand even further onto the eastern front. So there is a small little window for them to try and rotate through, but it is going to be a very thin needle to thread here.
Very, very thin indeed. Red River now has added pressure of Coquitlam deciding to move away from the churchyard where they have to now. They have to move up to this side, and that's going to be straight up onto Labor. Going to try and do something, but no, can't do a darn thing, and that's going to be the rest of the team trying to do something here, but that's Kent as well. Just third-party mania happening over here. Lots of stuff going on down as these teams all centered up on this new edge of zone and more teams pushing on in. This is going to be carnage for the next few minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be absolute chaos. But here comes the nades. They are getting sent in. Ninja gets dropped on down. Management quickly trying to clean it up, and unfortunately gets stopped in the process. Jason really quick on the triggers. You can see a little bit of damage being done over to Jason. So quite surprising. But if you stay in the door long enough, that damage will increase. Now it's going to be Louisiana feeling a big old sting coming through as well. But look at Fury. Beautiful nade to meet them on the edge. Now, Seneca A full sending in, committing to that res, trying to keep their numbers up. But will they be able to secure the play here? Because Jester quickly just doing a drop off and get out of the way there. Quick drop and tuck. And now Punk, Jester have a bit of an opportunity to provide the cover, but I'm not quite sure if they'll be able to do anything against Godless.
That's exactly what we'll have to see as we look for this code coming on your way. The chicken about to show us that $5 Amazon gift card. There it is. Go grab it. First come, first serve. So be sure to get it while it's still going. As we look over to Vancouver, looking now to gatekeep several teams here. There you go. God picking up one elim. Possibly finding another here. Cypher might just go down as well. No Mercy goes down now for Alabama. That's going to be them going on. And down Southeastern Louisiana getting eliminated as well. And this is where it gets really, really spicy, right? The slower half of the game is officially over. And look at all those teams onto the southwest side. DK, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams. Algoma, what are you doing? You're looking for that information, but you're flying way too close to the sun.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Why not just try and draw the aggro of everybody in the surrounding area? Move out, tank a few hits, and then go like, no, it's not safe. Don't go out there. It's crazy. But it's going to be, of course, the players here from Alabama looking to get themselves in a beautiful setup here. The lead and the rest of the crew could definitely look to apply quite a bit of pressure, not only onto Canada West, but also into everybody on the edge of the zone. Of course, the shift has come through, so the teams will continue to move a little bit further over on towards that eastern side. So essentially, kind of just centering up on itself, but it is going to make things increasingly more challenging. But let's see whether or not Vancouver can hold their own. They've already been able to find themselves 7 eliminations, but now with Defender getting dropped, Is that going to be a problem? Can they bounce back before Punk is able to secure the elimination? It is now going to be filling the gap, getting taken on down. Oh, Punk so close to getting that devastating blow dealt into the side of Vancouver, and it is absolute carnage and mayhem on the edge of zone here.
Cypher deciding to move in on his own is a wild choice, but here we go. This is what we wanted to see. Unfortunately, that is going to be Jester going on down, but not before he can grab God. That could be a great nade. It's going to be pushed on down, but doesn't even have a chance to throw it. That's going to be Punk taking out Vancouver. GG, a valiant fight being put forth there down to the, or up to the northern side. Meanwhile, Algoma trying to find their space in this circle. And it is going to be now everybody going crazy. Diljit for Alabama able to do something here, just pushing away team after team, player after player away from that position. Algoma now on top of this hillside, but there's so many teams all the way around, you can't really use it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that hill is notoriously difficult to climb up the side, right? So, good luck to Jonathan, unless you are a distant cousin of Spider-Man. I don't really see that being a very easy feat to accomplish. However, a nade over on towards Lexus, a lot more doable. So, this could definitely help them at least secure their 4th elimination. But for Jonathan, this could be a good carry coming through here. I like the angles that they are looking to take, looking to make it quite challenging. But unfortunately, just ending up shy there. Because the send. Oh, Gurdar coming in hot. Landing in the molly, but manages to get the shot in. And that is the end of the road for Lexus. Now, Alabama going to be looking to get their own slice of the action. Ruthless managing to quickly heal himself up just in the nick of time as that bombardment of utility starts to rain down over on them. But again, who is going to be able to secure the zone? Because we still have 7 teams in here, 16 players, but not a lot of space. And the north, for the time being, is wide open.
What do these teams do now? I mean, so many teams are so focused on those buildings on the south side, on this massive compound here. I think they're really giving these teams on the north time and space to move out and try and control the game as they fight amongst themselves. That's going to be super important to look at going forward. Yes, they are on low ground, but if that zone continues to go to the north like it has been doing, then Jester and crew are going to have a fantastic time of it. We will see how that is going to go down now, but we look at Seneca B moving up against Alabama. Nice nade. Not going to do much damage, though, as it's going to be Algoma just being that one team, almost the only team to really be looking towards the north side and see what Seneca is doing. Seneca B, on the other hand, one of those south side teams, just trying to do something here. The minute they leave this ridge, they know that they are vulnerable to those sprays. So they got to make sure that they can get rid of these teams, or at least put them low enough to make their escape.
Yeah, it's going to be important here for Seneca B to keep up that pacing, right? They've only been able to secure themselves 1 elimination, but they've been super active. So let's see, can they get that conversion rate up a little bit more? But it is going to be Alabama just ahead of them. Kent State also just holding nice and steady, and we might eventually, essentially, if Jason can survive, see a double, a 2R2D engagement coming through here. But yeah, Seneca B just going to be biding a little bit of time, trying to get themselves patched up, and Blink will have to now do it all over again as the shots have come through, just putting that health bar back quite a bit. You can see then in the meanwhile, Algoma using the opportunity to rotate up. Blink is down, Log goes out, it's up to Insane. And this is where Seneca is now absolutely brutal onto Seneca, right? A versus B, who will be the one to make it out. I like that position coming through here from Jester. Nice little bit of elevated position to see, can they scout out these angles? Can they find what they need to secure every single point here?
Algoma certainly trying their absolute best to control what little space they have, really. But you know what? Seneca doing exactly what I feared for the rest of the teams that they would do. Look at that spread, that control they have on the northern side, and as the zone continues to go more and more in their direction. These teams on the south side just getting pushed further and further together. Oh, hang on. Latava, the big player in the last game, has a roof angle here. Algoma doesn't know about it. Neither does UCW, I might add, but they might just know about it now. One hit goes on down. That's going to be elimination number 9 for Alabama. Can they make it 10? Hitman, very low. Yes, down he goes. Gonna try and flash that up ASAP. Nicely done, Latava. Just doing some big work here. 6 eliminations for him. Make that a flush as well. 11, just like that, DK.
Yep, Latava now looking to add the cherry on top. Bring in so much work. Blink comes in with a little bit of a turning of the tables here, as we do see Jester now getting hit. Punk trying to move up for that reinforcement, but with all the pressure that Seneca has been applying, it is potentially a strategy that could hurt them quite a bit coming into the end. I mean, they essentially need all their players on their feet, right? Because with 2 players up, you can't defend an entire zone, especially not against the rest of the lobby. But it's going to be Seneca B now. Oh, feeling the hurt as they are essentially down to a solo. Still got to watch out here for Gurjar. And I think for Latava, this is a phenomenal angle. That nade completely overcooked. Misses the position it needed to land on. But Seneca's still in this fight, right? Seneca A managing to hold on, managing to bounce back, get the reses up. But this could now essentially help them create a bit of a turning point here. Meanwhile, it will be Alabama taking out Algoma. So we are down to the final 3. Seneca A, Seneca B. And then, of course, we see even more chaos coming through from, I believe that is, yeah, that's Blink and the rest of the team, right? Also, then it is, yeah, I've already said all these names 5 times in a row, and yet it feels like I've not mentioned anybody. Alabama stepping up. They get the wrap on Seneca B, and now it's just them left with Seneca A to fight for their winner chicken dinner.
It sure is. Seneca A, I mean, they came back from a tricky position across the road down to the, or up to the northern side, and here they are. Top 2 with 7 eliminations. Can they make that a win on top? We will see. I am surprised they've gone for the push approach, but with Phase 9 now coming into play, it means that Alabama are pushed up against the edge of that blue zone. So they have no choice but to push forward directly into that 1v1, a 1v2 even, and Cypher able to do something. Can he do something else here? That's quickly Alabama just down to a solo, but he does get Cypher. He has to heal back on up now. Can he get the res? They might go for that full reset because they know it's a 1v1 at this point in time. It's Punk versus Ajit. Can they do it? No, they are going to go down, and that is going to be Alabama grabbing that win. MVT of last game, converting into a win for this game. What a play from them.
Yeah, what a bounce back. What a full circle approach that was, right? Putting in all the effort to ensure that this time it is in the bag, right? Absolutely great showing coming through. Gotta love how they just kept on applying so much pressure on the ridges. I mean, Latava probably feeling like an absolute legend at this point. We saw so many eliminations getting secured there by Latava, so yeah, very good for them. But now, who is our MVP? None other than Latava.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. It is going to be 8 eliminations and 12-18 damage being brought to the table.
Ding, ding, ding. I hear those bells going off for Latava. I mean, that roof angle was just phenomenal for him. Really enabled him to make as many eliminations as he did, and they didn't stop there. Really well played by Latava and all the team as well. And I'm looking forward now to what that Sanhok is going to look like with this team. They've been very consistent so far tonight, you know, so it's been really nice to see. That is going to be them with a back-to-back MVT coming through there. 17 eliminations. It's not the 20 we saw yesterday, but it's darn close.
Hey, I gotta say, that is the greatest Miramar that we've had so far in just these past 2 days. So, I mean, it's super exciting to see that. Of course, if you remember, the biggest chicken that we had in the previous round was 11, right? So this is absolutely golden. I think it was 14 eliminations. There we go. So 17 is still, either which way you look at it, much, much better. So big congratulations going out to Alabama. But it is going to be, of course, the leaderboard that we are interested in. As we can see, the teams now holding nice and steady. Big shift that I can see right there is Alabama going from 9th place all the way up into 2nd.
Wow. Big stuff from them. This is exactly what we were wanting to see, what we thought might be happening, right? A team that maybe just held off a little too much or just didn't have the day they wanted, shooting into that top 5, and they have done it. And it's close as well, 66-56. Sure, Vancouver still safe for now, but then you look below Alabama, 56-55, 55-53 is the top 5 right now. So Seneca A right below at 6th place with 45 points. There's a teeny bit of a gap there for sure, but the gaps are doable. We still have 2 games left, and with Rondo at the end, I know I keep saying this, but that is big point game, so it's going to be very close indeed.
What's the thing about Rondo? Randy, you say something about... No, I'm joking. I heard you all the way. So yeah, there's going to be a golden opportunity for the teams to do exactly that. But I got to say, though, it's quite impressive to see the top 6 teams all sitting there with 30+ eliminations each. So a lot of aggression has been brought through, and these teams have been working exceptionally hard to ensure that they end up in the prize money positions. And of course, you also want to try and play for as high of a position as you can find here. But yep, I mean, Arkansas so far showing that the day has been a little bit more challenging, right? You can see them, they're sitting with 6 points after a few games already have passed. So maybe the next match could be the opportunity for them to try and rectify that, to add a few more additional points to the overall tally. Is that going to allow them to make any drastic shifts, any drastic moves? Not necessarily, but it's, you know, playing for the honor of being capable of securing a performance. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can bring through. And, of course, we can say the same thing about ITSV. But, yeah, match number 2, done and dusted. And I am not muted right now, so that is even better. So, we'll see how it's all going to pan out as we continue to move through. Of course, now, that forces me to play a bit of a mind game, right, once we come back after the break, to make as if I'm muted, but maybe I won't. We'll figure out soon enough. But yeah, some pretty spicy plays coming through here. Alabama showing that one good, strong performance can definitely impact the standings quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think we're going to go to a break now, DK, so we'll see you all in a few minutes.
Welcome back, everybody. We're getting ready to move on into match number 3. Nobody is muted. I can hear the disappointment rather in Neptune's hand clap over there, the applause. Any which way, we are going to get ready for a little bit of that Sanhok action as we are prepping to roll into the jungle. The last time we went into Sanhok, Canada West came through with 17 eliminations. And, well, they engaged that beast mode. So, curious to see how it is going to pan out for them. Drangu also got 8 eliminations, right? And over 1,000 damage. So, we had some damage bells ringing. But are we going to have it again for this match number 3?
It's entirely possible, but my sights are being set on a team a little bit lower down on the leaderboard. I think one of those teams are going to be taking that win on Sanhok, because it always happens. The team that's struggling gets a big old win on Sanhok, and that changes the trajectory. So for me, I do think that we're going to be seeing something out of a different team for this next game.
Ooh, okay. So who would that team be then? Because, I mean, we've seen Arkansas State get the longest hit on Sanhok. We had Middlesex County bring in a few exciting plays. Of course, that was Middlesex County A. We had Algoma also stepping up a little bit over on Sanhok. So who would you say?
I think Algoma. They were top 3, top 4 in the Miramar. They were really looking like they wanted a win. They just weren't unable to grab it. So they had a pretty good day yesterday. We haven't seen much from today so far. So yeah, I think Algoma could do something really cool.
Well, of course, there's going to be only one way for us to find out. We'll have to step into the match to see what these teams are going to be doing, but we're not going there just yet, right? Instead, we are first going to take a little bit of a detour. Something happened, but nothing happened. It was a false alarm, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm good at miming, you know, so it's an interesting thing. So that was all on purpose, right? But yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. I mean, there's no evidence of anything to prove the contrary. But yeah, I think Sanhok is going to be a big deciding game here. Not as big as Rondo, but it is, as you said, right? Going to be an opportunity for the teams that need to make a bit of a comeback to do exactly that. But it is going to be some pretty high stakes, though.
Yeah, it is indeed. We are looking at just 2 games left. It's just this game and Rondo left before we crown our champion. So yeah, pressure is definitely on as we enter our second half of tonight's finals.
Yeah, well, the pressure is going to be high, and they're going to try and cover every possible angle that they can find. But I think, of course, aside from the angles that the teams will have to try and cover, right? It's also going to depend on a few other things as well, right? So it is going to depend on whether you want to shoot a high-angle group shot or get a creative low perspective, right? The Hohem iSteady V3 Ultra adapts to any scene, capture every single angle with stability, precision, and style. Sanhok is the best map to do that on, right? Because you can play that surprise element and then go like, group photo, and then, you know, job done. So yeah, let's see if that works.
Yeah, I mean, Sanhok is a very aesthetic map. I mean, why wouldn't you want to document your journey through the jungle, as we will be seeing these 16 teams go ahead and do. So yeah, I totally agree with you there, TK. So we'll see if anybody's going to be using that. If you want to use that yourself, the link is in the description below. So go ahead and check it on out. But DK, time almost for our third match. Where's the zone going?
On the map somewhere, right? It is going to be...
Oh, don't give me the half
a rather
answer.
rounded flight path.
No.
I want to see it. I want to see the flight path. Or, no, not the flight path, the zone, right? I want to see Cave being in this next zone, right? Maybe even the last zone. But I want it a little bit more towards that southern side.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, last night we had it over in Mong Nai up to the very north side there. So yeah, I agree. It would be nice to see it go down to the south. Are we gonna see the hot drops come on through though? We did have a couple of hot drops, but everybody completely ignored boot camp, which I was very upset about. I hope they see the error of their ways and rectify the situation ASAP, because we are gonna be going into Sanhok in just a few seconds now.
Yes, the clock is ticking Time is running. So who's going to be the ones to lock it in? I mean, Red River, they've also performed quite well on this map. So, you know, if they're going to try and reclaim a little bit of their position up on those overall standings, this could be the ticket for them. So I want to see if they're going to look to bring in the pressure. We did see Gurjar also being a pretty strong-armed individual. But now it's going to be all to be revealed. Where is that zone going to take us? Is it going to go down to docks, Camp Charlie, cave area, maybe quarry even, who knows? Or is it going to go somewhere else? As you've mentioned already yesterday, we did see it pull all the way up in towards that northern positioning. But is it going to go there again?
It could. It's entirely possible. I don't know if we're really gonna have it. Come on, give us that circle. Let's see where we're gonna be going. Where? 3, 2, 1. Come on. Okay, we're not gonna see it for a while, but we do have a boot camp hot drop. Heck yeah! Let's go! It is gonna be Algoma. Oh, also a Ruins hot drop. I love Ruins so much. It's one of my favorite spots on this map. Paradise as well. Gonna be seeing some action. It's all going down as Fury goes. B is the first to fall here. Sinner grabbing that elimination here, and our last game's second place team looks like they're going down so early. Vancouver looking to squash that team immediately. Off they go in 15th place, last place for them. Down they go over on boot camp now. Look at them. Oh, and Algoma gonna go head to head here. Shikari, just one of 2 left. Shikari and Senpai. Senpai goes down. That's gonna be Shikari left on his own with an S12K, and that's kind of it now. How is this now going to turn? Can he do a 1v4? I don't know, DK.
Yeah, the 1v4 is going to be quite a bit of a challenge here. And of course, for those who don't know, this building is called Lobster because it looks exactly not like a lobster. But it is going to be Shikari now trying to get the heck out of dodge. The one shot in, but down they go. Oh, Shikari trying to go out with a little bit of a oomph there, but unfortunately gets a quick ticket out of here. Goblin trying to just assess the situation, trying to get a good read. I'm going to be going in for the revive though, as Gurjar is already back on their feet. So this is going to be Algoma managing to hold on to Lobster for the time being. As you can see down in Ruins also, things could maybe start up yet again, as it's been defended once. But yeah, we could see even more of a pressure play coming in from the side there of Portage.
Could indeed, and it would be a good compound to really fight for here. We see the zone has actually shown its face now, going straight over to that island. We're going north again, but just a very different direction now. Luckily, quite a few of our teams are actually already inside of zone and pretty well set up. But Portage, for sure, might want to take a chance at Ruins there. It's nicely centered, or nicely positioned in the mid area of the circle. You know what I'm saying. But it would be a good position, especially for those rotational clashes. We'll see what they're going to be doing there. As ITSV looking maybe for a little bit of a jump scare over onto Alabama.
Yeah, it's going to be vicious as they get taken down next. So let's see if the rest of Canada West can respond in kind. Drango trying to bring in a little bit of reinforcement, but unfortunately not really able to contest the position just yet. Rondo though looking for the angle. Oh, the sprays are there now. Can they get the jump? No, instead gets jumped upon as Southeastern Louisiana comes running to the forefront there. Humble now quickly trying to put a little bit of distance in between themselves, and it's going to be Drango on the top of the temple here looking for an opportunity. But look at this, Middlesex County bringing all the heat. It's just one player remaining. Basha gone down early in the previous match, but this time around looking to maybe change it up. But unfortunately, that is going to be Middlesex County going right on down.
Canada West going to be possibly able to res back up, because now we see another team just coming in for that third party, just not giving Canada West any time to re-establish themselves, and Fold goes down. It's just Drango left alive as we move on over Labor now. Red River, Labor's been such a huge player for his team so far tonight. Can he do it again here? 4 eliminations on the board. Middlesex County A gonna be taking down Canada West, and my goodness me, we're already down to the top 10 teams. It's kind of crazy, DK, how fast this game is going.
I mean, we've just passed the 5-minute marker, right? We've already lost so many teams. I mean, it's like the squad's decided, you know what? Let's go for absolute aggression. And that shot there was just mechanical. So good to see. And Mercy is down. Sanhok could maybe be the next one to fall. Up comes Labor and the rest of Red River, looking to bring in even more of that flavor that we saw coming in just yesterday. Now, Southeastern Louisiana. Godless going to try and lock it down. Could maybe find a little bit of an opportunity, but needs to be super cautious, because if you cough loud enough, it is going to be Red River rushing in your direction and looking to close the door in your face. Now, Algoma already also doing quite a bit of work, as we saw, being able to secure themselves those 4 eliminations. But the positions, the angles, everything is now up for grabs pretty much.
It really, really is, but Godless as the solo has to be very careful with how he plays this. The zone is moving on in. I think the best course of action now, is to get out of dodge, but he's not allowed. Shut down by Dem there. Red River going to be grabbing the 7th elimination on the board, and just like he grabbed that elim, so can you grab some prizes for yourself. An Amazon gift card of 5 buckaroos headed your way on screen right now. Go ahead and grab it while it's still going. It's first come, first serve, so don't wait around. Go ahead and grab that now.
But wait, there's more. It is going to be Alabama stepping up with a little bit of a spray across the way here. As you can see, Jonathan now getting knocked on down. Beautiful work here being done by man. Oh, Goblin gets the hit, and that is Alabama. He's getting shut down on the front line. Now it's going to be the rest of the crew looking to rush on up. It is going to be a pretty tough play here. Gurjar just on the side. Can Algoma pull this together? They have 2 players up. They have 2 players down, but I'm not quite sure they'll be able to save themselves right here. The pressure coming through from Green across the way as well. You can see Gurjan trying everything to evade the sprays, but is it going to be enough? I like how the pressure is coming in here. I mean, it's just such a contentious angle. Arkansas State also trying to see if they can make something happen from that northern side.
Yeah, I mean, what a gatekeep position on that cliff side that they have. I mean, this is the problem with Sanhok. This river is just so divisive, and it means that those teams over on the boot camp side just can't do anything. Meanwhile, over on the island, Vancouver getting picked apart here, stuck between 2 different teams. Sinner now one of the duo left standing. Can God get picked back up? I think he probably can here. Those nades shouldn't be too bad right this second. Hopefully that's going to be the case. Portage trying to make things a different story though, but they have to be careful because Seneca are waiting in the wings right behind them. So a lot of sandwiching going on here. God does go down, so that is going to be Portage taking down another one of those players of Vancouver. But we move over to Alabama versus Algoma, and this is really where you have to just go ahead and just clash right there, because there's not much else you can do. Sinner goes on down, so close to getting that extra elim, but no, that's going to be Vancouver down to just a solo. A far cry from the dominating performance we saw from them yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Portage was no shortage of aggression on that portion that we saw coming through from them, but we do see Aries getting taken on down. Now it's going to be the rest of Vancouver looking to come in and repay a little bit of that justice to them. Famous looking to move up. Oh, Hohem though is going to be packing in quite a bit of heat. Not quite sure if Vancouver is going to be able to get out of this in one piece. I like that push coming through from Famous, keeping the angle tight. Defender did see that rotation coming through here, but I think this is where Portage is going to try and maybe reconcile their numbers. Got to watch out. We do see Seneca also just in the distance there, so can't make too much noise and expect to get away with it. So one of these 2 teams are going to be the next one to fall. It is going to be Criminal, the next one to get traded on down to Defender. And fill in the gap could definitely still pop in quite a bit of damage at the expense of Portage here.
Yeah, Portage not having a particularly easy time of it for sure, and neither is Algoma here. Alabama trying to do something, trying to do anything at all to try and get across this river. For some reason, the rest of the teams on the other side have actually left them completely alone here. There's no picking apart of these teams whatsoever. So that's going to be them left to their own free will, and Algoma, unfortunately, are the victims of that. Alabama, big couple of games they've had so far, looking to continue that trajectory. Full squad up still. 3 eliminations on the board. We'll see what they can do with it now. They just have to cross.
Oh, mechanic running straight into the net there from okay, but why? But up comes Labor now, looking to see if they can maybe find it in a bit of a different way. The shots are in and down they go. Management with a beautiful securing angle. Now it's going to be up to Chow Chow. See, can they find a little bit of a continuation here? It is going to be Labor coming through with the jump shots. A quick spread of the molly. The flames now expanding all across the floor here. Is that going to be sufficient, though? Almost running into the molly themselves. You can see Cha Cha quickly trying to put a little bit of distance between them. But it is Red River that has surrounded them. 10 eliminations now coming through.
Wow. Goodness me, Red River making a name for themselves over on this Sanhok game, and it's like we kind of said, right? These teams that really wanted some points, this is where you want to get them. This Sanhok, 4th place so far on the boards currently. That's where they stand, tied with 3rd at 55 points, 1 behind Alabama. So they're looking really, really good to catch up to that 1st place. Even now, potentially moving past Vancouver, because yes, Vancouver have 7 eliminations so far. They are still in the game, but they are limping to that finish line just a little bit here. They don't have that full squad at their disposal. So definitely something to keep an eye on as Red River move closer and closer to the final phases.
Yeah, they're going to try and close this one up as best they can, but let's see if Middlesex County can still spearhead some kind of a push. Meanwhile, Red River going to be rolling on through here. I mean, Labor, who needs a car, right? Just hop on a horse, get a little bit of that action going. You can jump in whenever you feel like it. But a decent rotation there on their side, right? Of course, that northern approach is going to be relatively open for them now to look to get situated. But how are the rest of the teams down the southern side going to look to respond to that? You can see we've got Kent and the players from Alabama taking their positions on that far southern side as well. But Red River, they just big trolling up on the north, right? Then they smooth rolling. But, I mean, they've been so dominant throughout this match.
They have indeed. Oh, you know who else is being very dominant right now is Middlesex County. Look up at the top there. Full squad. Just perched up on top of those cliffs. They've had a really rough time of it so far. Just unable to get ahead of where they wanted to go in the game so far this evening. But they've got a really strong position. They look pretty good to just be able to group on up if the zone doesn't go their way, because they are still going to be in the next at least couple of zones, I would predict here. So really good position for them. Red River Labor putting in the work for sure. He's trailing behind his teammates in terms of those elims, but probably not for long. We haven't seen him do less than several eliminations so far, so I'm sure he'll do that again now as he moves on up, trying to draw some fire, trying to get back to his teammates somehow, but unable to leave that compound. So it looks like he's going to be stuck there for the time being, DK.
Yep, that's Labor. Just soaking some of the shots coming through here. And as we know, Iman can continue to fire the shots from up above, as they have 301 rounds aside from that which is currently in the clip itself. So, yeah, curious to see whether or not anything is going to come through from that. Meanwhile, it is going to be Red River continuing to look for more altercations and engagements. And this could be Seneca B now looking to provide that to them as Don G starts over the spray. Camp Alpha is not going to be their home, at least not while Seneca B is still within it.
Seneca B, that That zone has just moved a little too far away from them, but it's a good position to try and maybe play, like, just a little gamble a little bit with that blue zone, right? Just see if you can find an opening, see if you can thwart a few other teams, maybe play that points game rather than the game that's right in front of you. So we'll see what they can do with that, what they're going to be able to make of this situation going on forward. But Red River, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen. Do not crash into an already smoking vehicle. But it's fine. It's fine for now. They're going to move into a compound here right below Kent. Right below Kent. Right next to... who is that? Somebody. But we'll see how that's going to be going forward. They know there's somebody, gotta be somebody up there, right? So they're just going to play it slow, play it safe. Dong, though, might just be caught unawares. Okay. Famous makes his presence known just a little bit too early, and Dong is going to be knowing that. Okay, just a quick little hatchet throw there. Down that goes. And that's going to be S12K. Oh, straight to the noggin. GG. That's going to be a Portage out in 7th place.
It's unfortunate, but let's see who's going to be the one to claim that 6th position. It's going to be Middlesex County A. Al Pacino. Up above, A gets the hit into Law. So one shot in, a few more to go. Can they secure at least the northern flush there? It's going to be a pretty tough angle to try and get those smokes. Doing a pretty good job with concealing the position. But how determined is Al Pacino here with following through as the rest has come in? So Insane and Law both now just hugging the goodness out of that rock. But the push is going to come through as Law is trying to advance. Looking for a little bit of an angle, a little bit of setup, slight bit of a position just on the very edge of that zone. Meanwhile, it is going to be Red River. And of course, a few other teams on that far southern side. Red River could definitely look to capitalize on a big old zone gatekeeping play here. And I mean, looking over to what we have on the edge of the zone itself towards the eastern side, things are not looking any easier at all. It is going to be, of course, Middlesex County also then controlling a big chunk of the zone. So Al Pacino and the rest of the crew now just looking to lay into everybody here as Stu Elam's come on through.
Yeah, but he can't over-peak. Look at his health. He's taken a couple of hits there as now Seneca know his position. They're going to try and do something about it. Alabama now feeling also the effects of just what this circle can do when it goes up to these cliffs like this. It is just absolute chaos for those teams below. So we'll see how they're going to be managing that as Red River going to be up to 15 eliminations right now. Labor slacking for once. And the rest of his team pulling up with all of these eliminations. Now Vancouver pulling up as a duo. 1v2 up against management. He's going to try and get out of there. Is that the wisest choice? Maybe. Because they're not going to push that. They're not going to try and take anything of that. Oh, Latava goes down for Alabama. That's a big loss on that side. Seeing what he's done so far this evening. And as we continue, the zone continues to move on through. Stage 6 is 30 seconds away from being made known. Top 5 teams, DK. It is all down to this.
Oh, yes, sir. Here we go. Oh, there we go as well. It was Nobi trying to do everything they could, trying to get into zone, but now it's up to Spear. But is Spear going to show no fear as the shots rain down onto Allen? Allen, of course, the last hopeful here for the side of Alabama. The blue has caught up. It is going to be stage 6 that hits. Fortunately, pretty close to the edge. Oh, but can they go all the way? The answer is no. They've just been stopped in their tracks. So a good defense coming through here. But again, the pressure will continue to remain pretty high as we are now left with 4 squads. All looking to vie for a position up in the zone. Red River still holding steady with a full 4 Ps. It is, of course, now Middlesex County also back again to 4. But can they capitalize on the positions here, Nep? Because, I mean, like, I think it's essentially going to be a finishing play here between Red River and Middlesex County.
But what about Vancouver here? I mean, could they play spoiler to all of this? if these two teams go head-to-head and forget about Vancouver enough, Vancouver do have the possibility to wrap around. There is that room there for them to do so, so they do have to be careful that they don't get too tunnel visioned on each other here. Let's see what they have in play. Middlesex do have a 2-2 split. That's going to be very controlling against Red River, who are definitely at a disadvantage when it comes to that, the ground, the terrain that they're on. But 16 eliminations is hard to beat. 7 on the side of Middlesex County. Which ones? Is it going to be that nade? Could be perfect. A little far. Just a little far. Not going to be touching anybody there. But a good, excellent attempt there. The nade going to be up onto Nobi. Does do some damage, but just not enough to make anything. There's Mechanic. Oh, the bounce saves him. Goodness me, the bounce does save him.
Oh, yeah, that was a pretty close nade. Let's see if this next one is going to maybe find a bit of a connection. It does find some damage in onto Mechanic, but how many grenades do they have? I mean, surely they can't have that many of them, because where would they fit all that ammo? In the meanwhile, it is going to be Vancouver here trying to get a bit of a jump play onto Seneca, as Don G now looks to rush forward into zone, gets spotted and cleaned up. Defender holding true, defending the zone from Seneca, rotating up. Down to the final 3 we go. It is going to be Red River, of course, Vancouver, and then Middlesex County. I like what Middlesex has been doing so far in these past 2 days here, Nip. I mean, they've really been kind of looking to stick as much of a contentious performance as they could manage here.
They really have as Dem gets tickled just a little bit there. Labor goes down. Oh, nice little angle from Nobi there. Dem is going to go down now. Labor gets flushed out. Red River should be done here. Oh, no, Nobi! What are you doing? A little over-aggressive Nobi. All right, that's just a little bit too much there. Al Pacino going to be trying to do something to help, but oh, dear me. Have Middlesex County? Don't tell me they've just lost the win for themselves. Surely not, as Vancouver going to be moving forward onto that solo they know is there, into the zone, onto that solo. Meanwhile, Iman has to just pick up Spear, try and do something with him. And let's see. I mean, there is a big cliff. Yeah, there's a big cliff though, isn't there? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You know, so they're welcome to try and push straight forward, but unfortunately they can only go so far, right? Because yeah, it's stage 9, and they don't necessarily have a very secure rotation. This, I would say, is going to be Middlesex County's match, right? They've got this one in the bag, but they need to be very, very cautious here, right? Not to get overly confident, because the moment they lose focus, the moment they drop the ball, is going to be the end of the road. And I mean, they've worked so hard. As you can see, 10 eliminations up. Why not? They just got to lock it in for this last minute and a bit of change before this game is then officially and completely over. Defender goes down. It's now up into the final hopeful here. But in the gap, getting filled up with lead, and down they go. It is Middlesex County to reign supreme, to hold on to the glorious winner with a chicken dinner in match number 3.
GG's going their way. I mean, they held that position from the beginning, and they were able to put it to excellent use. Big GG's going over to them. Also really important for Vancouver to be able to get that second place right, because we did see Red River really making an effort to go to the top of the leaderboard, and for Vancouver, that second place might just have denied Red River that ability, at least for now. So really, really important for them as we head over to our MVP of the game. It is going to be Mechanic from Red River. 5 eliminations, 870 damage.
Yep, a good number indeed. Getting close to having those bells ringing yet again. But those are, of course, the bells of carnage, right? So a valiant effort being brought through here from the side of Mechanic. But let's see who did the most as a team. And of course, the answer to that question is none other than the rest of Red River, as they come through with 17 eliminations. Not quite the 25 that we've seen from them before, but still a phenomenal bit of effort. I mean, last time they did 2,900 damage. This time, they did 3,100 damage. So I love the fact that they just doubled down on the aggression, and such a strong showing from them. And I mean, they were absolute menace pushing on that southern side of the zone.
Yeah, fantastic work coming in from them. You can see the effort they're putting in to make it to the top of the leaderboard. It's not going to work just yet as we look over 81 to 77. Just 4 points difference between them right now. It is not a lot going into this next game of Rondo. It's hardly anything. Alabama right behind them. The gap is slightly bigger there, but 63, 58, 56, 55, 45, 45. It goes on and on. But goodness me, that's not much of a gap at all.
Yeah, definitely not much of a gap indeed. But hey, this is what we love to see, right? The teams keeping it very tight and concise as we move into that final match of the day. And of course, as we know, right, the teams are playing for their share of not only the prize pool, but also what comes next. So the higher you can get it, the better your chances are. But I like that there's a bit of competition between Middlesex County's 2 squads, has Seneca as well. It'd be exciting to see Seneca B making it all the way up into potentially maybe that 9th place, you know, just knocking on the door of Seneca A. But we'll have to step through a few matches to see exactly how this all is going to play out. And of course, with a few matches, we mean one, right? There's just one few match left to see who's going to be able to back all the eliminations and then some. And my English grammar is phenomenal, I do say.
It's fantastic. Yeah, it's really, really good. It's better than mine, to be honest. But yeah, we're going to be going over into Rondo. Don't start with that. Anyway, we're going to be starting over into Rondo just after a short break here. But I'm very excited for Rondo. Very excited because these teams, we've seen some different teams pull it out of the bag. I want to see if Vancouver's going to really try and make a break for it, if they're going to try and bring just all the heat, all the action. I'm excited. I want to see what they're doing. DK, we don't have long left.
No, we don't, right? Because the end of the day is fast approaching, so that means it's going to be maybe a bit of a stressful match for a few squads coming into this last game. But of course, looking at the points that we've already seen being established there, right? Vancouver, I don't think that they are one of the teams that are going to be stressing, right? I think they are going to be looking to double it down. But speaking about double it down, we need to load everything up and make sure all the teams are good to go. So we'll see you back on the other side of the break. I'm not muted, I promise, right? So it is going to be exciting to see what is going to happen as we hop into our final match of the day. It is going to be the last Rondo to make its way onto the screen. The teams are getting ready to show us what they are going to be bringing on through. Now, Neb, you've been talking about a few teams potentially maybe looking to bring in a few upsets along the way. And this is going to be the big revealer because as we know, and as you pointed out, the points are looking pretty close for a few of the squads here.
It absolutely are. I mean, it could be closer, but it also could be a lot farther away with these teams. I mean, we have seen closer points in the past, but 4-5 point difference is nothing, especially when it comes to Rondo, right? Those recalls are going to be in full swing. That means those points, double points potentially here for all of these teams. And if a Red River can come out, and if a Vancouver can do not enough, then you're looking at a new champion coming in here with all of those points combined. So I'm very excited to see. Could it be them? One of those two, right? Could it be either of those teams? Could it be somebody completely different? Kent State have been looking like they want to do more here, just not able to really do enough here at like what they wanted to do. Is Rondo going to be their map? I mean, it is now or never, the last map of the night.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to this one final showing. And as we know, stepping into Rondo, there is going to be such a thing as revives and recalls coming on through. So we'll see who will be the ones to step it up, just as we step it up here with a detachable touchscreen remote, a simple gesture control, and of course, you can shoot absolutely completely hands-free. You just wave, pose, and let the Hohem iSteady V3 Ultra capture the moment for you. As I think moving into this final match, right, you might need a few of them around you just to capture all the plays that are going to be taking place, right? Make a pretty cool action replay of how it all went down.
I agree. It would be just the tool to do that. So go ahead and grab yours in the description below while we wait for our final match of the evening, of the finals of the Campus Championship North America 2025. This is it. We're getting into our final game here. It could be any one of these teams doing very, very well. It'd be awesome to see if we could get a team maybe like Arkansas State, like ITSV. We've seen a little bit from them, little glimpses of what they could be, but just unable to really make themselves heard in this lobby. Southeastern Louisiana as well, Coquitlam, we've seen them do some good things as well. I'd like to see maybe some of these teams on the second half of the leaderboard just go all in on this last game. They've got nothing to lose. Just make a bid for that top 5 and see where it lands.
Well, the highest bid is probably going to be the one that wins, right? Bringing in the most aggression. But I think the big thing here is for the teams, of course, to ensure that they go for the 3-1 splits, right? Yeah. At the bare minimum, right? Because if you put all your players, all your eggs in the one basket, someone's going to take your basket, right? And you're going to be very unhappy about it. And you're going to run out of points, or you won't even be able to get any points. So I'm curious to see if the teams will be looking to do that. I mean, I got to say, though, especially looking at how these squads have been playing, I have no doubt that they will be doing that, right? Going for the 3-1 or the 2-2 split. But we also did see quite a bit of contention coming up towards those recalled points, right? Where the teams kind of sit and wait around. So we did see quite a bit of pressure being applied in those areas as well. But yeah, it's all going to boil down to what this final match brings, right? We've been over on Erangel, we've been to Miramar, we've gone to Sanhok. And now it is to see if Rondo is going to be the one to seal the fate for the teams. They'll be looking to bring in all the heat they can find here.
I mean, what do you think, DK? Are we going to see much of a change in the top 5 after this map? Are we going to have a different winner, a different champion to Vancouver? Or are we going to see things stay pretty much the same? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm expecting to see a bit of a change with regards to the overall points, right? Because, I mean, looking at what Seneca has been doing, look at what Algoma and Portage have been doing so far today, I would be surprised if they don't give it full gas coming into this final match, right? Because I think they've slowly but steadily been looking to get themselves kind of set up and prepped up once they make it into Rondo. And I want to see it come full circle. Right? You want to see these teams that have been showing quite a bit of je ne sais pas today to really bring it in and, you know, just lay it all bare on the battlefield.
Yes, indeed. All right. Here we go. We're getting into it. Rondo is raring to go. Here we go. Onto the plane. Is there going to be a double plane path, though? That is the question. Let's go ahead and see. And yes, we are going to be going in 2 different directions here, making sure that these teams get exactly where they need to go. I'm just wondering where that zone is going to be. I mean, at this point, if the zone centers up, which I have a feeling it's going to, we have a very even playing field for all of these teams. Will they decide to actually go ahead for those hot drops, or are they going to be a little bit more spread out? We'll have to wait and see, but already we're starting to see some of these teams move forward towards Rayan, maybe again over towards Stadium here, couple of teams going over to Hongshan, so a lot of different teams choosing their different spots, going to where they need to go. Yeah, Stadium is going to be busy. I can't wait to see where else these teams are going to go.
Yeah, it's interesting. I almost thought for a moment there that there are no players on that southern plane because it went for a good while before anybody started dropping out. But of course, we have our answers. It is going to be Hongshan that is going to be pretty hot and heated. Yulin is also getting pushed into from both the north and the south all together. So yeah, there could be quite a bit of an opportunity. I mean, we can even see there on the way to Ling. So much opportunity available to these squads. But they choose violence, right? And this is exactly the game for them. But the zone, though, is going to take it that extra little bit further. Now centering up real close to Meiran. So a lot of teams now will have a rather difficult rotation ahead of them.
They sure will. I mean, for the folks over by Stadium, maybe not so much, right? It's going to be a fairly chill rotation. There's not many teams on their side. The south side, though, is going to look a little bit worse for these teams. You've got teams, what, like 4, 5, 6 teams now, all down to that south side. Yulin as well is looking very busy with 3 teams. So yeah, there's a lot of action happening every which way. You do see some of those solos just having a little bit of alone time, just waiting for those teammates to be done and dusted as Dark gets taken on down. Oh god, gotta react with a 1v2. Very easily done over onto Louisiana and Vancouver, snatching up all the points they can muster. And that's going to be God with 2 eliminations. 1 player is down. Sinner went down earlier. Dar is still knocked. Hopefully can get that res going. But for now, God is just going to try to defend here. Danqing looking like a real hot drop spot for a lot of teams now.
Well, let's see who's going to be the one to get it, though, as Gurjar is trying to hold their own. Jonathan has already been found, but a quick little bit of a relocate here coming through from Algoma as they anticipate the full send coming through from Kent. Oh, Jason now running forward, but a beautiful spray as they cleared it up. That UNP just on the money. Up comes Ninja, down goes Lexus. Godless, absolutely relentless with the sprays. Jonathan is going to get traded up as well. As power goes down, I really hope they have the 3-1 split. It does at least seem to be the case here. But that is going to be Kent already sitting on a very comfortable 3 eliminations alongside Middlesex County B. Up in Stadium, it is going to be a little bit of a slightly more stealthy approach coming through from Mechanic. You can see ITSV now falling to the wayside as the sprays are connecting up here. Reinforcements and cavalry has arrived. It's going to be Burpee sending it out. Not finding anything yet, but that was, of course, Jeremy getting finished by the side of Labor.
Yes, indeedy, but the fight is not over. Burpee's still up and running here, and Red River to move over to Stadium, trying to find something against ITSV. But Stadium's such a difficult position to play. There's so many little nooks and crannies that any sort of solos could be hiding. Oh, I thought God was on the outside and was about to come over that wall. Oh my goodness. Not happening though. Thank goodness for God. Burpee's gonna have to work a little bit harder than that. Oh, nice bounce with the nade. Not gonna quite do enough damage. Not gonna get close enough there, and he's just gonna be very quiet. But somehow they do know he's probably there. Yep. Oh, no! Nades himself. Burpee's gonna take full advantage of that instant shutdown. Oh, gets the flush, but goes down himself there, and that's gonna be the pan. That's gotta be the pan.
Yeah. I mean, so there I would have liked to see a little bit of a rebound off of the wall, right? Because I think that was a golden opportunity to do that. I think a missed opportunity all at the same time. Speaking about bounces, here it comes. Let's see if Humble can serve some pie over here. No, instead overcooked it completely. So Ralo also going to be holding a little bit on that back end, but Labor now spotting the opportunity to come on forward. Got to watch out for the off angle there from Ralo. Humble cooks up another nade. This is going to be Labor and Humble having a bit of a nade off. Oh, who's going to be the first one? Oh, Humble goes down. Now it's going to be Ralo trying to see, can they get out of harm's way? Because it is going to be a full-on red river flowing straight towards them.
Gosh, that was just a shutdown and a half. My goodness me. I mean, thankfully they do have a solo that is going to be at a recall center, so no harm done just yet. But we are racking up those points now. Red River with 4, Middlesex County with 4 as well as we move over to Neox Factory. Now, Crocodile, just that one elimination. It's not the crazy hot drops we've been maybe hoping for with like 10 teams all in one position. They're a little bit smarter than that. But it does mean you do get less points. So that's going to be 2 on the side of Shikari, and that is it for Crockett Lamb so far. Meanwhile, Middlesex County just chasing down Lutava here. He's just trying to do his thing, trying to play his game, but no, down he goes. Gonna get knocked on down, and his teammates now gonna have to res him back up, and goodness me, Spear not even giving him any which way to think about it, just gonna run him down. Get out of here. Senpai now looking for Cypher and crew. Spray down does a little bit of damage, but not enough, and that's going to be him in test track very, very safely now.
Yeah, those pesky buildings coming in the way. But fortunately, it does allow for a little bit of a continuation there for Cypher to see can they decipher what the strategy will be at this point. Meanwhile, Crockett Lamb, I think this is a decent setup, right? Quite a bit of control that they have here. Up in Neox Factory. It is going to be Vancouver. They'll be slowly trying to encroach here. See God just waiting on the edge. In the meantime, Canada West now on that western front of Yulin. As they look to close the gap between themselves and that zone. Finds a little buggy along the way. Quickly trading places. Young boy trying to find the spray through the smoke. But unfortunately, there's nobody there to receive it. God again trying to cook up the nades. If Shikari is not careful, that could be quite a big issue rather coming through right for them. Yes, indeed, and we've seen the impact these nades have been having on teams. They've been so accurate. It's not what you want to see, but God is even more accurate. My goodness me, his shotgun shut down onto Shikari. That's gonna be one more. 4 eliminations for God alone right now. That's exactly what you want to see. He knows that there's somebody there, but Senpai's just covering his teammate, making sure nobody gets to his boy there. Young boy in that crate now. Just waiting to surprise somebody. Holding down the fort. The nade over the top to Senpai could be quite good, actually. Does quite a bit of damage. Half health he goes down to. Molotov to finish it up, and that's going to be Cypher on the back end there. Just coming in with that third-party nasty business, and Vancouver going to clean up Young Boy at the same time. So that is going to be Coquetlam just out of Neox Factory. Oh, and God gets shut down as well. Cypher now the lone survivor of Neox Factory, of Test Track, and now his teammates can come to him. Yeah, well, some pretty exciting gameplay that we are looking at so far. It is going to be Algoma that now has 1 elimination. Coquetlam is going to be the next team to get taken out. So we are down to only 14 remaining hopefuls. It's still 52 players up, right? So quite a lot of change can still be applied here. Let's see if Middlesex County can bring Spear back into the fight. Otherwise, they are going to be a duo. And that could maybe have a bit of an impact on their performance here. Sahu there from southeastern Louisiana. Quickly just nabbing the vehicle. Are they going to go in for the finish? The car play. Ooh, getting so close. Spear. Just hoping and praying that Nobi can bring in a little bit of a helping hand. I'm not quite sure if they have any remaining revives. It doesn't seem like Spear is going to be coming back into the fight just yet. But so Eman also currently just moving about. This must be absolutely devastating now for Nobi, knowing that they are pretty isolated from the rest of the crew.
Yeah, that's a tough position to be in, and Alabama might just take full advantage of that, but whoa, what am I seeing? So many teams still out in the blue zone. That is really interesting to me. We have 3, 4, 5 teams all out in that zone. And nowhere near the new circle, right? Because it's gone hard shift to that eastern side. Whoa, hang on a second. Portage gonna try and hold on here, but down they go. That's gonna be the big duo going on down. Nice nade, but that does finish up Harmon, though. So let's see where that's gonna go. Algoma now just down to 3, but up to 4 eliminations. Make that 5 once they flush out that player. There you go. That's gonna be elimination number 5, and Aries now just trying to do something here, trying to do anything, trying to surprise the nade there, but that's not going to be happening at all. And Portage, they're going to go on down.
What net are you seeing where? Oh, famous.
Ooh.
Running straight into Jonathan. And the shots coming through from the beautiful S12K. I mean, this is an interesting play here from Middlesex County A. They've been able to bring the whole entire squad back into the fight. Back into the fold, but it's going to be a pretty tough recovery because the rest of the team are all out in the blue, right? Iman rotating so far away to bring the team back into the fight. I'm not quite sure if it will be worth all that effort. Spidey, in the meantime, one of the crazy performers in the qualifiers, this time having a little bit of difficulty coming into this final match of the day. Here we go. Nobi now just legging it. A very interesting decision to make here as Canada West is going to be rolling up, and this could maybe either be a beautiful idea or absolutely catastrophic for Middlesex County.
It could indeed, but it looks like they're not going to try anything just yet. Oh, wait a second. Sinner going to be taken down Insane, so Seneca just down to a duo right now, and this is where teams are starting to be pulled apart. Those recalls have been used. They're already done. They're already dusted. And now Vancouver, the team that are at the top of the leaderboard right now. Not by many points, but they are on top. 6 eliminations on the board so far. Just 2 left alive, and God is the one who's got 5 out of 6 of their elims. They need to survive this if they want to hold on to the champion spot, remember. Big money on the line. They just have to hold on to it. And right now, Seneca are trying to thwart that. Al Pacino in the elim feed, by the way, falls out of his own vehicle. So that's a big rip. Unfortunate. There's the nade comes on through. Just misses. That could have spelled disaster there. But no, they do get that full reset. They're just going to try and get those heals back on up.
Well, so far, things not looking all too devastating here for Middlesex County A, as they do find themselves a little bit of that green action. But the rest of the team is going to come rolling up right behind them. So that is going to be Arkansas State. That could maybe still get the jump in. I don't quite know if Nobi knows. But hey, Sinner, though, is going to get the job done. Seneca B is done and out of here. Out comes Delulu cooking up the nade. This could be Nobi. Ooh, in trouble, but instead Iman finds the hit. Delulu now just with 1 teammate remaining. It is going to be Choo Choo. I know it says Chow Chow, but Choo Choo looks just so much more fun. Let's see. Will they get that train rolling on forward, right? Are they going to go for a little bit of a training session here, or what will they be doing? Of course, you can't play around too much, right? They only have 1 elimination to their name, and they are going to be looking to maybe try and add a few more additional points up here. But if Sahu does spot them, it could maybe end the run quite briefly for them.
Yeah, it's very precarious what they're doing here now. Mehran does have a recall. That's where he's trying to get to, but it's kind of out in the open here. At least Sahu doesn't seem to understand that there is somebody next to him there. So that's going to be okay for now. Canada West back up as 4, as a full squad, ready to go. Kent State now topping the leaderboard in terms of those eliminations. 9 to their tally right now. Looking very good for them. And Fold does go down again, just unable to get off of this position. And Vancouver find themselves alone now in a really good spot, actually, as the zone goes further towards Miramar.
Let's see if that town is maybe going to be a bit of a saving stead for Arkansas State. I mean, they are still trying to get the points secured. They are trying to get everything possible. But looking on towards the southern side as well, I mean, Ruthless and the rest of the team, it's going to be an interesting rotation for them to get back up in towards the zone. So many difficult angles here. I mean, we do see Middlesex County also taking possession of that southeastern side, going onto that hill. The angle, the hill itself is going to provide them with decent coverage, especially for that rotation. But Arkansas State, they just hugging the compound, right? They're going to try and play through the windows, but we've seen what happens in these compounds, right? Utilities start flying on in and teams make their way back into the lobby.
They sure do, just by the skin of their teeth as well. And the thing is that RRC knows exactly that there's somebody in here. But it's okay, right? It's way okay. He's got backup now. Okay, but why? And Chow Chow gonna be moving on in, but oh, so does RRC. They also have that backup mechanic on the outside. At least okay, but Y knows exactly where he is. Hello, coming on through. JS9 MPK moving on through. Gonna be trying to get him. There we go. Flush that point. The points are so important in this final game. But oh, you can't be too tunnel visioned. Didn't see management just managing that position, and that's gonna be that full recall coming on through. As we see also coming on through, the code, our final Amazon gift card of $5 coming your way. Go ahead and grab that code on screen right now. Pause if you have to, but make sure you get it because it's first come, first serve.
Yep. Who can click the button the quickest, right? It's gonna be a race, as the teams will also race for position up into some good zone positioning here. We do say goodbye to Middlesex County A, so we are down to our final 8 squads. Sahu, though, trying to play, again, a little bit of that stealth approach, right? We see Godless also just alongside them. A little bit of a hesitation as to which approach to take, but let's see, can they find the jump angle onto Red River? I mean, if Sahu knows what's there, I would maybe be a little bit more cautious, right? In the meantime, it is going to be ITSV. We've not seen much of this game so far. They are still holding steady with the 2-piece. Let's see if Kail and Humble can get the action going. Oh, HDM getting spotted in the distance. Sahu with a beautiful sounding skin on that weapon right there. And here we go. Rango getting spotted. Kail trying everything they can, but the blue is going to make this whole decision just that extra little bit more difficult for them.
Oh, and the zone moves away from the city, right? So Red River, who are trying so hard in this final game to do exactly what they need to do, have been told that their game is about to get a lot harder as they move out of the city. Oh, out of the city, straight on into the open ground, but now they start to fall. Down goes one, down goes another. Mechanic falling on down. 6 eliminations for Southeastern Louisiana. That's exactly what I wanted to see from them. I mentioned them before the game even started, but Godless goes on down. That's another S12K shot around the corner, but not going to happen. Nothing finds it just yet, and oh, just very slowly ticking away at that health. Godless goes on down. Just use the Molotov to buy yourself some time here. Try and grab any sort of points you can. Really nice stuff with that AUG. Sahu just pulling apart RRC. They're trying their best here, but goodness me, it's one versus everybody.
I mean, you gotta commend the efforts coming through here from Sahu. Absolutely phenomenal performance moving through this compound. I thought that was gonna be the end of Sahu, but so far Sahu just holding their own. Boom! Up they come. Red River getting flushed, getting squad wiped by Sahu. Absolute insane performance right there. Mad respect going out to Sahu. That was insane. Gotta love that for Southeastern Louisiana. 9 eliminations on the board. Kent and Vancouver also rocking up with 9. But where is Canada West going to go with this one? Can they look to replicate the effort? They still have 3 players in the fight now, finding the angles here onto the side of Kent State. We do say goodbye to Middlesex County B as Bopey and the rest of the crew will fold under the angles getting played against them. But look at this. Canada West absolutely relentless with the bombardment here.
Aren't they just? My goodness me. We'll have to see how this all shakes up the leaderboard, because it is going to be shook up indeed. Oh, nice nade, little too far. All but one hit has a P90. That is going to be lethal, and lethal it is. Ninja goes down, flushed away within the blink of an eye. The nades are out now. They're raring to go. Down to 3. Go Kent, but 10 eliminations on the board. Nice nade. That could just go straight onto Noggin. No, it's not going to do anything just yet. The P90 still in play, and it's the AUG to take the headshots there. Drangu just trying to cover his teammate as best he can, but Vancouver in the background. Nice nade. One hit's gonna go on down, and now it is just Drangu left alive. Sinner right next to him. Is he gonna grab him? No, can't quite make the shots connect, and Sinner is the one now. It's just Vancouver in general now to be able to do something. One knock on the side of Drangu, though. 1 HP, uses the Molotov again to try and do something here, but the vehicle is going to be used as well. 11 eliminations on the side of Kent. Lots, I mean, this is the point, right? Rondo has so many of those double elimination numbers coming on through, but that means that the shakeup for the lobby, for the leaderboard, is going to be unreal. Drangu is going to try and do his best to go a 1v3, gets one, but doesn't flush it before he goes down, and that is going to be Canada West out of this game.
Well, Vancouver looking pretty golden right here. 12 eliminations to their name. They are just holding on, but they still have 3 players in this game, so it ain't over until the final zone closes. But let's see if Kent State can maybe bring in a bit of a response. You can see Thor and Ruthless now just holding their distance. We do have Jester on the back end there. So this could be Seneca definitely looking to apply quite a bit of pressure to the zone already. Now, with 4 squads left, 3 of them are on screen. Where are the other one? Right, where's the final squad? Where are they situated? We'll find out pretty soon, hopefully. But looking at this, Kent is also having a pretty strong run here. 11 eliminations. Now looking for number 12. As Thor just pokes into the side there, it is going to be a full rush, a bit of a pincer play coming in, and I'm not quite sure how Thor is going to be able to get out of the situation. Ruthless also now joining up with it for a quick extraction here. But is it going to be on time, though?
That is the question. It's a question of timing. Sinner has 7 eliminations out of the 12. I mean, he's been doing so much for his team right now, and he really needs to, right? Red River have come so close, but have they done enough? Southeastern Louisiana now out of the game. It is up to Vancouver to hold their top spot, and they're doing a fantastic job of doing so. Top 3 so far with 12 eliminations. The emergency cover flares are out right now. Defender's going to be moving up to those. Sinner should be moving up fairly soon as well. And I tell you what, Seneca A, they are on fire. They did really well in the Miramar, a little bit quieter on Sanhok, but they are back in business coming into this Rondo. Another top 3 finish for them.
Yeah, and of course, another serving of emergency cover flares making their way on down. So this map is now absolutely littered with those flares. And of course, that changes up the whole dynamic atop this hill. The teams now have a lot more cover to try and work their way through, as Ruthless has been found. Jester now trying to sneak their way up. Sinister, fortunately, in the vehicle does evade the initial damage, but can't resist it all. Oh, Jester getting found. Cypher now having to really quickly try and bring their teammate back onto their feet, but this is now going to be filling the gap, trying to push on forward. Got to watch out for that off angle coming through from Bunk, though.
defender with the nade. Yeah, really nice work coming in there. Jester's gonna be flushed away there, and that's going to be it for him. 3 left though for Seneca. Still definitely could make something happen here, and again we're seeing that domination of zone control in the minimap. We saw that on Miramar. We're seeing it again here. Vancouver, on the other hand, looking forward to them, but they're not paying attention to the third team here. Surely they know that R2D are here, that Kent is here. 11 eliminations, just a duo left alive, but a duo is all you need if you play your cards right. Sometimes that is all the firepower you require, especially if the 2 teams ahead of you are tunnel visioned onto each other.
Yeah, a duo can definitely make quite a bit happen, but let's see, will that be sufficient though? We do see defender taking a little bit of damage, but also quite a bit of damage coming through from Vancouver over down that hillside. And up they come. Right, Kent State just hugging the edge of zone. Not going to be looking to be too revealing with their positions, at least not for the time being. Defender deciding whether or not they want to bring in even more emergency flares. Yeah, the answer is a definite yes. And it is now getting into a full stack up on top of this hill. Bunk, though, still quite removed from the rest of the team, but it's a good call there from Cypher to fall back. Just look to fortify the back end. Defender now has been spotted. Seneca can't really do too much with that information just yet. Now, more and more emergency flares, more grenades starting to fly all over the place. It looks like a minefield at the top here, but only one team can look to crown themselves the victor of this final match here today.
Ruthless making their weapons heard here. Oh wait, hang on, Cypher. I thought he was wrapping around. He's just running around with the vehicle trying to get some sort of info here. Their main focus continues to be Vancouver. I mean, you can see why, right? It is the duo that have the most power here. They want to make sure they can get rid of them, that there's not going to be any sort of threat to their win if they can grab it. These nades, though, they have to be careful with throwing too many nades because really, except for a little bit of damage there, they're really giving their opponents a little bit of cover because those nades, they create these dips in the ground that allow their enemies to actually hide from view. So, gotta be careful with those nades. And Defender's gonna be using one of them to heal on up just a little bit, just get that extra tick of health that could be make or break. But we come down to stage number 9 in 30 seconds. And right now, I think these teams, they're really just waiting for that zone to start moving on up. Because right now, it's at a standstill.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough zone to play through here. I mean, nobody wants to be the next one to get spotted and taken out of here. But the terraforming definitely looking to aid these teams quite a bit. I mean, that paired with the emergency flares adds a whole different level to this final zone. Without it, of course, we'd be looking at just one random rock there in the middle of all the trees. So this whole situation would have been so different. But here we go. Teams prepping themselves for the next play. That nade not going to be able to make it all the way in, though. And this is now going to be Kent. At least the first team to get pressured by that blue zone closure, right? They have to make a play. And I think you could say the same thing almost here for Seneca, right? Because they do have at least Bunk on that far side. So the blue is going to start nipping at their heels just ever so slightly. Seneca still trying to capitalize on the numbers available to them. They want to try and play as many different angles as humanly possible here. But Vancouver, you're talking about that tunnel vision, and they really have to try and avoid that at this point, right? You got to keep your head on a swivel, especially with still so many players alive.
Yeah, and in such opposite directions as well. You really got to just make sure you've got a good eye on both of those angles, especially when it's so easy to kind of just sneak up. But stage 9 is here, 5 seconds to go, and all of these teams just have to move on in. I'm happy with what Vancouver been doing, just using those cover flares to just give themselves room to actually move into the center. They saw coming what was about to happen, so they've prepared for it in advance. Seneca to a certain degree, have also done the same, but it is up to Kent now to try and close that gap between them, as Vancouver's going to be starting to use those nades. Oh, just about, but not quite. Defender going to be clearing up that elim there. Punk is going to go down as well, and that's going to be 2 on the side of Seneca. To go on down very, very quickly here, and Vancouver automatically on that winning side, but now they have to contend with Kent, the other duo. If they can get rid of them, it's an easy 1v2 clutch. But what is Kent going to do? How is Kent going to respond? And is Fury going to ruin their chances at a win here?
That's going to be the big question. But this could be a golden ticket for Fury right here. Just waiting to see what Thor and Ruthless are going to try and attempt. That Zoran just a minute and a bit away from finishing. That is Thor down. Now comes Sin here as Vancouver starts to move in. They've isolated the position, but we still have Ruthless in play. So this could still be quite a bit of a devastating performance, but not so much so here for Fury as they get ended. Now it's going to be Ruthless trying to maybe just defend that revive, but they can't go for it. They're going to have to focus and prioritize potential victory. Defender, the last one left to make a difference here for Vancouver as he just rushes over to the side, completely misses the angle that Ruthless is approaching from. So Kent now frantically scanning the area, looking for an indication as to where Defender is. So it's now going to be an S12K showdown. Defender versus Ruthless. Utility would be phenomenal at this point. But looking at Defender, that helmet rather is not looking too great on the side of Ruthless, so there is an opportunity, but Defender also has no more body vests remaining, and now it's going to be the send. Defender super low, and down they go as Ruthless comes through with the dove. They get the winner chicken dinner. Kent State reigning supreme, doing the most and just showing how far a duo can take it.
My goodness me, I did not expect Kent to win that at all. My focus was on the teams that had the better terrain, but GG Kent able to just take it on through, be really patient, and wait for their time to shine. GG's going their way, and of course, they were in the top 4 going into this match, so they were really making sure that they solidified that top 5 position. We'll see if they were able to do it, and Sinner, 7 eliminations, 664 damage, a stellar performance from Sinner coming into this final map.
Yeah, a very respectable showing here from Sinner. Indeed, gotta love it. 7 eliminations and a strong serving of that damage is gonna bode quite well. But the big question is, who is our shining star when it comes to the teams? And of course, the answer is none other than Vancouver, as they do secure a very dominating performance. 16 eliminations and 2,700 damage. Not the fattest chicken that we've seen over on Rondo. Yesterday's one was 22 eliminations. But of course, the teams coming through with a more widespread performance, right? Having a greater share with regards to who were able to secure all those eliminations. But yeah, there we go, right? The last match done and dusted, and there's only one thing for us left to do, and that's do the math, right? We gotta know who's the final few squads to get the share of not only the prize pool, but who's going to be moving on to the next part.
I'm gonna leave that to the people in charge to actually do the math. I can't do the math. Yeah. Okay, but you know what? We can talk about the math until that time comes, right? Because we got some speculating to do. I mean, I feel like the top 5 for the most part is pretty set. I think Vancouver, they got a 2nd place. They got 16 eliminations. They should still be on top. I mean, we'll have to see. Nothing's confirmed just yet. Kent State should have very easily kept their top 4 coming in, or top 5 rather, coming into the final map. A really good show from them. And Red River falling just a little bit too short, I think, of that champion spot, but have they been able to hold on to 2nd place? That's what I want to know, DK.
I wish I could answer your question, but you know, as you said, math, right? So I can tell you that some teams were able to get something done right here. Of course, who We don't know. We did see the performances that they brought in. We did see the numbers they were able to secure. But the big question is, did they do enough to upset the overall standings? I mean, Kent, they were in 4th place coming into this match. So already quite a bit of a contentious position to be in. I mean, Alabama, they were looking pretty good. But of course, you know what? Let's find out who are the champions. Who is the team that got the most done, sitting at the top and walking away with the biggest share of that prize pool as well? The answer is Vancouver! As they come through with a very dominating performance in this last match. Absolutely amazing stuff. And man, oh man, did they do a great job.
I mean, you know what's crazy about that is Vancouver have been at the top of the leaderboard since game number 1. Since game number 1, they came in with that Erangel yesterday, blew everybody else out of the water, and have just kept on going the entire 8 games. Big GGs going over to Vancouver. And fantastic consistency coming in from them, but we also have to shout out Red River jumping up into that 2nd place, falling just short of that number 1 spot, but still a very respectable result. Then Kent State moving into that 3rd place, Canada West in 4th, and Alabama just sneaking past Middlesex into that 5th place as well. 3 points only separating them. But what a game, what an event, what a finals we've had so far, DK.
Yep.
So far.
Yeah, I mean, it was super exciting to see these teams. But of course, in the final match here, the top 5 just shuffled places to make sure that they were still able to hold on. So a big congratulations to all the teams finishing across the overall standings here. I mean, we did see some pretty phenomenal gameplay. We had beautiful grenades. We had such surprising rushes, especially coming into this final game, right? It was an absolute showcase. So these teams bringing some pretty spicy gameplay to the battleground. And that's what we love to see, right? Campus Championship, season in, season out. Always just absolutely cram-packed with so many sweaty performances.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal event that we've had. I've enjoyed every minute of it. The format's been interesting, the map rotation's been interesting, and these teams have made it just so much fun to watch. So I've really enjoyed this, and I cannot wait for the next event.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. So, I mean, quite a few surprising plays here. We love to see the upsets coming through. And you know what I think is also pretty good? Right, the teams that we saw dominating in the previous season, they weren't necessarily dominating the season, right? Things are starting to even out. The competition is getting tougher. So love to see how far these teams can take it. But of course, on that one, we'll have to wait until we make it into the next split, right? That is going to be the next spring season. That's going to be the spring season for 2026 that is going to be making its way on through. But of course, well, a lot in the PUBG sphere to look forward to, as we have the PMCCs coming up as well. So look forward to that. Until then, we look forward to see you all back again when we return with the Campus Championship. Until then, have a fantastic time.